Hello and welcome to the United Stand, Manchester United versus Valerenga. Little bit late, apologies for that, but got stuck on the motorway, which is, if you saw my reaction to the Matic news, you will have seen that on the motorway. You know what, if I'm totally honest, I need your help. I need your help tonight because I'm not happy. I'm really not happy. Not happy at all. I'm not happy with Matic, and you know what? I'm really not bothered what people think because I have my own opinion. And one thing we've encouraged over the last 3 years on the United Stand is you should have your own opinion. And if you were one of the few that wanted Matic, well done. If you're one of the many who are now jumping on a bandwagon that you wanted Matic all along, you're a liar, because we've been speaking about this for weeks and the vast majority didn't want him. So you're liars. And I'm not a hypocrite. I don't want him. I think he's a bad signing. But if he signs for United, I've got to back the signing from Mourinho, but it's the first signing that Mourinho's made where I really have concerns about it. I don't want him. He's not inspiring. He's not exciting. I think it's a reflection of the Glazers penny pinching, and you can say 40 million for Matic is hardly penny pinching. It's not. It's overpaying, but Matic was not Mourinho's first choice midfielder. He wanted Eric Dyer. He wanted Nainggolan, and we are settling for a Chelsea cast-off. And whether he's a cast-off or not is irrelevant. I don't want him. But the most disappointing thing as well is the way Manchester United allowed this fake story yesterday to get our hopes up about Fellaini. And we all focused on Fellaini leaving. Well, I didn't, because I never thought he was going to leave. We all focus on Fellaini leaving, and that makes us feel positive. And then very cleverly, within hours, they feed Matic in, so that we're all focused on Fellaini leaving, and Matic comes in, so we're not negative about it because we're thinking about Fellaini leaving. And then lo and behold, team news, Fellaini starts. Fellaini's going nowhere. There will be games next season where we have Fellaini and Matic in our midfield. And if you think that is Manchester United, then I don't know where you've been for the last 25 years, 30 years, 40 years, because that's not Manchester United. Two donkeys in the midfield playing in our midfield is not Manchester United, and I think it's terrifying. The team we've selected today does involve Fellaini yet again. It's got Fellaini and Carrick in it, so again, it's a little glimpse of what it's going to be like with Matic. I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned by this selection today. I back Mourinho. Mourinho is the manager I wanted at Manchester United, but I'm struggling to explain or back what he's doing at the moment. I mean, we've discussed it so many times now about static slow midfield, and he decides to put Carrick and Fellaini in it again. My only thought is that he's so stubborn that he's now trying to prove Manchester United fans wrong by playing them against a run-of-the-mill Norwegian team where they'll probably play it quite well, and we'll all go, Mourinho's a genius playing two donkeys in the midfield yet again. Carrick and Fellaini in our midfield. Jones playing as a centre-back. I mean, it's just terrifying what he's actually doing. What are you doing? What are you doing with our side? I mean, why can't Swansea be playing the midfield? Why can't Pereira start? Why is Fosu Mensah playing at right back again? I mean, the team, for those who don't know it, it's a joke of a team. It's not even a real team. It's not a formation that we're going to build on for the Super Cup or West Ham. It's not an 11 that we've got any glimpse of what it's going to be about. It's just a Mickey Mouse team. Romero in goal, Fosu Mensah at right back, Bailly and Jones, Blind at left back, Carrick captain with Fellaini and Pogba, Mata, Mkhitaryan and Rashford. It is a mismatch. It is a total mismatch. It is a total chuck a load of players together. It is a total waste. Why have we gone to Norway if we're going to put a team like that out? I mean, call me negative or whatever, but I just don't know what we're doing as a club at the moment. I really don't know what we're doing. I'm disenchanted by the signings. I'm disillusioned by the lack of money that's being put into the club, and I'm confused by what our manager's trying to achieve. And you know what? If you're a fair weather fan or you're a glass half full, whatever, well done. Well done. You know what? I get passionate. I get frustrated because I support Manchester United and I know where we should be. I don't know what this friendly's all about. I don't know why we're keeping Fellaini. I don't know why we're signing Matic, but I'm very frustrated by that lineup. Because if you're going to put a Mickey Mouse team of reserves out, why don't you play Swansea and Pereira? Why do we have to see Phil Jones? Why do we have to see Carrick and Fellaini in the midfield? Why do we have to see Daley Blind playing at left back? You know, the subs bench is... De Gea's not even here. Darmian, Lindelof, Mitchell, Smalling, Twansibi, Ander Herrera, McTominay, Pereira, Martial, Lukaku. Why is Martial not playing? Why is Lingard not here? Is he now first team quality? It's just, it baffles me. I'm absolutely baffled by what a waste of time this actually is. And why are we picking a team like this? You know what? I'm frustrated. I really am. I do not understand what we're trying to achieve with this friendly. The players are just, it's a mismatch. It's a total chuck a load of players together. You've got, what I'm sure, let me just check this. Mkhitaryan and Mata in the same starting lineup. Where's the width? Where's the... This is the slowest team I've ever seen us put out. I do not understand it. I do not understand this team at all. Blind, donkey. Carrick, donkey. Fellaini, donkey. Pogba, fast. Mata, donkey. Mkhitaryan, relatively fast. Rashford. It is just not a football team. It's not a team. It is not a Manchester United team. We will learn nothing from that first 11 at all. It is nowhere near what his first team is ever going to be. And we are 2 games away from playing West Ham on the first game of the season. I just do not understand what we're doing. I do not understand what we're doing. I don't understand. We've been paid a load of money to go to Norway. I don't understand this lineup. And look, I'm more than willing to be the fall guy. I'm more than willing to have the you know, the knives in the back, the negativity or whatever like that. But you know what? We are all taking time out of our day to watch this football match because we support Manchester United. And I'm baffled by what we're doing. I don't understand why Pereira's not playing. I don't understand why Twansibi and Mitchell are being given no minutes. I'm not happy with that lineup. I'm not. I can't pretend to you. That's not the channel. The United Stand is not the channel to come and watch if you want to have wind blown up your backside about how great this lineup is and how progressive it is and how we're going to see how we might line up against West Ham. We're going to see a formation tonight that might be a glimpse of what we're going to do next season, and it's going to be really, really exciting. It isn't. This is nothing like, regardless of what formation we do, that team could never be further than the truth of what we're going to play against West Ham. Mata and Mkhitaryan as the wing. We're basically playing a crappy 4-3-3 again with no number 10 because we're putting Mkhitaryan and Mata on the wings, Pogba, Fellaini and Carrick. What an absolute joke of a midfield 3 that is. And I'm sure they'll dominate this Norwegian team because it's a Norwegian team. But that's a donkey midfield with slow wingers and Rashford up front as a fall guy. And Blind, Jones, Bay, Fosu Mensah. Fosu Mensah is a right back. We're here. We'll be watching it together, of course. But I'm not. This just is indicative of Manchester United at the moment. I do not understand the path we're going down. I really don't. I just do not understand it. I don't. 70 dislikes already. Can we... I tell you what, everybody dislike. We'll still be live. I don't care about your dislikes. Get in the live comments and give me something that's relevant that you want to interact with, because I haven't got Marcus with me for a few minutes, so I want to sort of interact with what people think. But Lisa says it's the first video you've disliked. Well done, Lisa. Do you want a t-shirt with that on? I'm not bothered. How about, Lisa, you put a contribution on the live comments about counteracting what I'm saying? I don't see what that 11 does. I don't understand the formation. I don't understand the team. He will never pick a team anywhere near that in the Premier League. What does that team mean tonight other than why are we in Norway to play that sort of team? I don't understand what that team is all about. It is absolute nonsense. It's a nonsense team. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't progress anything. Carrick and Fellaini as a midfield 2 with Pogba. Jesus Christ, I'd rather select myself and Mad Marcus with Pogba than them two. Carrick is on terminal decline and Fellaini is a joke. Mata and Mkhitaryan as wingers. Jesus Christ, there is no sense in playing that. Mkhitaryan may as well not be here if you're not going to play him as a number 10. And Mata on the wing, how many times do you have to say that's a waste of time? Fosu Mensah at right back, you could have played him as a centre defensive midfielder. Phil Jones in the team, why aren't you playing Lindelof with Bailly and getting that built together? Blind as a left back, he was atrocious last game. I don't get that team. That team seems to me like you could play that team on Monday in a private little training session. This is Manchester United on MUTV, everybody watching. I don't get that team. I don't understand that team. Even if we beat Valerenga 22-0, that team means nothing. We'll never use that team. We'll never have Mkhitaryan and Mata as wide people. We'll never play Carrick and Fellaini with Pogba as a midfield. It's a joke of a team. I don't understand it. And I don't really give a damn what people think about whether I'm being negative or not. Give me something back as to why that team means anything. It would mean a hell of a lot more if you actually played Lingard, because at least he's a proper winger. It would mean a hell of a lot more if you actually put Twansibi in the midfield, because he actually has potential to be a midfielder. But maybe it's not even frustration. I mean, Fellaini was never leaving. I'm more frustrated that we're in for Matic. I cannot understand that signing at all. It really, really does depress me. But we'll talk about that on the Sunday night show. Steve Tettelbaum has made a contribution. The Matic news has wrecked my day. Well, I think to be honest, it's probably wrecked mine as well. I'm not going to be a fair weather fan who suddenly goes, oh, Matic is a good signing. Matic is a good signing. Cast off from Chelsea that they don't want anymore. He's a good signing. 4th choice centre defensive midfielder from Mourinho. Oh, he's a good signing. Oh, 29 in August. He's a good signing. I think you need to bloody take your head out of the sand that you're burying it in and realise that Matic is not a good signing. He's a risk. He's a massive, massive risk that Manchester United don't need to make. And I hope to God, I really hope to God that I'm proved wrong on this and this gamble works on Matic. But it is not a good signing. On anybody's money, he is not a good signing. He is a 100% risk. And again, we've played 3 games in 6 days and Fellaini has played 90 minutes, 45 minutes and at least another 45 minutes. When are we going to get that disease out of our club? I'm being serious. When are we going to get rid of him? He's a joke. He is an absolute embarrassment in a United shirt. And our manager keeps picking him week after week after week. I'm absolutely tired of seeing Fellaini in a shirt. And it's getting to the point now, exactly as I predicted it. If you've been watching the United stand for the last 3 years, or even the last 3 months, I predicted Pereira on loan at a team that got relegated in La Liga, one of the best players in the league, comes back to United, should be playing week in, week out, is now sat on the bench because of that big waste of a space, Fellaini. Because Mourinho is obsessed by him. And that's the truth. And if you don't like the truth, if you can't handle the truth, bye-bye. See ya. This is not the channel for you. I'm not moving away from this anymore. I am absolutely fed up to the back teeth of seeing Fellaini. Even if Mourinho loves Fellaini, why are you picking him in a friendly? You know why you love him. We don't know. We're absolutely confused why you love Fellaini. You know why you pick him. You know why he's so important to you. Why are you playing him in a pre-season friendly when you know how good he is? When you love Fellaini, why are you still picking him? Why can nobody else have a chance? Is it because you're terrified that if you drop Fellaini and you played Pereira, Pereira would run the show and all the fans would be like, Pereira has to play? I think it's suppression. I think it's suppression of Twansibi. I think it's suppression of Fosu Mensah as a centre defensive midfielder. I think it's suppression of Pereira. I think it's suppression of playing Dimitri Mitchell as a left back. I think he doesn't play them there because he knows full well if he plays them there, they'll play well and the fans will demand, well, not demand, but the fans will want him to play. So it's more safe. It suits his agenda to just keep picking Fellaini all the time because then we'll never get a glimpse of how good these other players are and we'll just have to moan like we are now about Fellaini playing. I mean, you know, the United stand's always going to do watch-alongs. We're always going to do United reactions. That's what we're all about. But uninspired yet again by a friendly team that I don't understand this team and I don't understand why Fellaini has to play it. As I just said a few minutes ago, this is our 3rd game in 6 days. Our 3rd game in 6 days and Fellaini plays yet again. Nobody else has played more minutes than him now. Jared Passerman's made a contribution. I was so excited after we won the Europa League. This summer has been a daily gut punch. We need 2 changes. We're better than this. I agree with you, Mark. Well, I'm glad some people do agree. We've had nearly 300 dislikes, so a lot of people don't agree. But for all those people saying hashtag Mark out, good luck. I think you may go and find another channel. You'll leave before I do. If you can't, and what a little bit of advice I would give to all you lot in your life is, if all you've got is abuse, get out, sit down, take the L. If you've got an actual contribution to make, put it up. But hashtag Mark out or hashtag whatever, hey, welcome to reality. There goes gravity. If you're happy with Fellaini playing every week, I suggest you go and support Stoke. In fact, Stoke aren't a long ball team anymore. Go and support Sunderland in the Championship because that's Fellaini's standard. And if you think that team we're going to learn anything from that team today, then your standards have severely dropped. I don't care who you are, what you are. I'll even take a Skype call from you if you want. You're an absolute clown if you think that Twansibi, Fosu Mensah and Pereira shouldn't be playing in their right position today based on the team he's selected there. It's a joke of a team and it's a waste of a time of a pre-season game. What formations are you going to play? 4-3-3. Boring 4-3-3 with no number 10. That's what we're going to see today. And that's probably what we're going to see next season. And I 100% back Mourinho, but I'm getting very, very concerned about what he's doing. Matic is a signing I didn't want. I don't back it. Who am I to say that? Well, I'm just a fan like you and everybody else. I don't pretend to be any more important than you. But I think Matic is a bad signing, and I hope I'm wrong. I think Fellaini is here, and he's here to stay. He'll probably outlast me. He'll probably outlast all you lot. And that formation, again, uninspiring. What are we trying to achieve with that team today? I do not know. I do not know. I do not know. Fellaini's playing today, says Chisen. Well, that's to all those people who believed what I said was a total joke yesterday. Welcome to reality. Fellaini's not going anywhere. He was never going to go anywhere. Glenn Lloyd has made a contribution. I agree with you, Mark. Don't like Matic or Fellaini, although the squad depth is needed. What annoys me is that Ross Barkley's available, Renato Sanchez is available, Fabinho's available, Matuidi's available. There's so many players better available, and we're wasting it on this obsession with anybody who's over 6'3" and can't run 10 metres in under 5 seconds. It's a joke. Look, telling me to calm down and hashtag mark out isn't really constructive. If you come back with something good, you'll get read out. A little hint to you, you little bloody keyboard warriors, give me something back and I'll read it out. I don't care if it's opposite to what I've said. If it's abusive or it's just nonsensical, I won't read it out. But if it's opposed to what I say and it actually has some, actual thought behind it, I will read it out. Little hints. That's how you get read out on the United Stand. Your little petulance and your little silly keyboard warrior comments won't get read out. Write something constructive, whether it's backing what I say, opposed to what I say, or middle of the road, and you will get read out. It's very, very simple. Get with the programme. All you need to do is say to yourself, what good will this team being out help us, says Elite Gamer 01. Comment of the night by Elite Gamer 01. Exactly. Look at that team tonight. How does that help our pre-season preparations, that team tonight? I'm disgusted by the midfield of Carrick and Fellaini. I've seen it 3 times now in this pre-season and it's been absolutely atrocious. And I think it really is stubbornness for Mourinho that I don't know whether he listens to what fans think or whatever, but I think it really is stubbornness that he's picking that team because he wants it to work, so he can say Carrick and Fellaini work. So this is a rubbish Norwegian team we're playing tonight, so he's picking it so that it works and he can go, yeah, it works. Matic is in decline. Mourinho has lost the plot, says Mr. Man United. Barkley is most likely going to Spurs. Well done to Spurs then. Michael Adams, he just said he will play the kids in the second half, Mark, on MUTV. Jose just confirmed. Well, that's positive. Let's look forward to the second half. Richard Stainer says Jose's failing, picks teams, tactics, lack of youth, unentertaining. We will not win the league this season. Richard Stainer. I've been asked by a few people, Richard, whether I'm going to change my prediction that we'll win the league. I'm not, because I do think that Mourinho wins the league in his first 2 years. But I've got to be honest, I really, really do think that Matic is going to be the flop. Matic will be the flop. And Matic will be the player that frustrates everybody exactly like Fellaini did. Prince Change has made a contribution. He says, Jose probably saving his team for the Super Cup. That's a week and a half away, mate. Mate, that is not an excuse. It's a week and a half away. We play Sampdoria on Wednesday night. Maybe he's saving a team for that. Claymore Henry, good comment this. Thanks, Claymore. He says, I'm confused about the players picked. Transfers aside, we're a couple of weeks away from the start of the season. I've no idea what our real leveling is. That's what I agree with that, Claymore. I've just got no... I don't see why we're here. I don't see why we're in Norway. I don't see why we're playing this friendly based on the team he's picked today. I don't understand it. He could pick that team at Carrington Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and play it against a different United 11. We don't need to watch that. What we do need to watch is progression from United and where we're actually going. Put the first team out. Put the team out that you want to play with the formation you want to play against a bunch of also-rans and blast them 5 or 6-0. That's what we need to do. Picking a team with Mata and Mkhitaryan as your wide men, Fellaini and Carrick as your midfield, it's banter. It's absolute banter. It's almost as much banter as Matic, signing Matic for 40 million. Really ridiculous. Marcus Jarvis says it's only football, more important things in life. This isn't the channel for you, Marcus. Cheerio. Adam B, I read your comment. I won't read it out, but what I will do is I'll happily block you, and then you never have to come back again. So you're gone. Watch the difference in the second half, says Andrew Hort. I'm more excited about the second half if we're going to pick the kids. But it's not about just pace. Oh, can't be arsed with those sort of silly arguments again. Another waste of a season. If this is the best, why does he do this? We have better on the bench. Venkatarama Iya says Mourinho is trying to keep Fellaini on the market and have clubs get interested in him. Mourinho is the sort of manager who forces players out. Look, he forced Schweinsteiger out by getting him to play with the kids. I'm sorry, with all due respect, thanks for the contribution, but all those people who think he's picking Fellaini to try and sell him, you don't understand Mourinho. When Mourinho wants to sell a player, he doesn't select them in the first team. He gets rid of them. He forces them out. He doesn't pick them in the first team. Fellaini's here to stay. If you are justifying Matic because you think Fellaini's going, wake up and smell the coffee. We'll be playing the both of them next season. Rogue Punisher, thanks for the contribution. It feels like we're taking a step back. I truly fear for United's future. You know, for the first time, I'm starting to feel the same. I haven't been like this. I haven't been like this under Mourinho at all. I'm worried. I'm starting to get worried. I'll always be honest with you. I know some of you don't like that honesty sometimes. I know I've been very positive about Jose, and I still do believe in him, but I'm very, 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 very concerned about this Fellaini obsession. It's not Manchester United, and he seems to be obsessed with him. Eric Guerrero has made a contribution. This is our team. If most of our players are injured, he's probably giving time to worse players and seeing who he can possibly bring into the first team. I like your positivity. Max says, stay positive, Mark. Mourinho is not an idiot and he knows what he's doing. Mark my words, he's going to pull a Sir Alex Ferguson on us. Hope so. Danny Jones, very negative, Mark. We don't need negativity on a pre-season tour. We still have another 2 games for him to start his ideal 11. Danny Jones. AJ Nell says he's watching from Sanders' mum's house and can't wait for the second half. And Trippers Jaming, I've got a season ticket and I've not been this unmotivated for the start of a season for a while. Yeah, I think a lot of United fans are feeling like that, and I don't really take the criticism that some people are throwing at us for having our own opinion. What is the problem with saying what you think? That's what we encourage. Is it not? Is that not what a fan outlet is there to do? Encourage fan opinion. Welcome other opinions. You may disagree with it, but I'm not interested in people who are abusing other people's opinion tonight. To me, it's like a water off a duck's back. I don't really care what you say, but I'm not intrigued, I'm not motivated, and I'm not excited about what we are doing at the moment. We had the banter last night that we're going to sell Fellaini, which was never going to happen. We've got the banter today that we're going to spend 40 million on Matic, and then we've got the banter tonight where we put a team out that I just do not understand for the life of me why we have that team out. It makes absolutely no sense. It's got no cohesion. We will never put a team like that out. It is an embarrassment to a Manchester United pre-season friendly. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Any sense at all. I mean, the back four is a bit of a joke when you play. I mean, why not play Lingard? Lindelof. Why not play Lindelof with Bailly and give him a bit of time together? Phil Jones. Why is he still a Manchester United player? Carrick and Fellaini as a midfield too. Slower than a broken washing machine going backwards. Pogba in the midfield. Well, is that just to give it a little bit of status? Oh, Paul Pogba's playing. Mata and Mkhitaryan as wingers. Mkhitaryan cannot play on the wing. He has to play as a number 10. And Rashford up front is exciting. But look, I'm not going to hide. I will not hide behind what I really think. And I'm not happy with that lineup. I'm not happy with Fellaini continuously being used. And I'm not happy with us signing Matic. And I will not move away from that. I do not care what anybody says. That is my opinion. If yours is different, well done. I respect it. But don't tell me how to think. Not happy with it at all. We'll talk about Matic on the Sunday night show, which will be after this game tonight. What we're going to learn from this game tonight, I don't really know. I can honestly say, in a high-pitched way, I really don't know what we're learning from that team tonight. Other than, I think it's marketing by Mourinho to put Fellaini and Carrick against a crap team, and they'll play well, and the naive United fans who don't realise the rubbishness of this opposition will say, hey, Carrick and Fellaini can do a job for us as a midfield too. No, they can't. They can't. That's been proved so many times. And just because they play well against some Norwegian mid-table team doesn't mean they can do it in the Premier League. Michael Carrick is there. And I love Michael Carrick. I love Michael Carrick. I think he's one of the best players we've had in the last 10 years. I love Michael Carrick. But if you want me to be totally honest, Manchester United stable almost must exist. Players disappear. Rooney's one of those players. Time for him to go. Michael Carrick is on the decline. Carrick and Fellaini as a midfield too. It's banter. There's loads of banter today. Pogboom says, I'm not bothered about the dislikes. Everybody's liked it. Tell you what, drop a dislike. I'm not bothered. Makes no difference to me. Mark, you're being naive, says George. I despair. I despair at these comments. How long have you been watching the United stand to come out with an idiotic comment like that? Mark, you're being naive. Full stop. Next sentence. Explain your statement. Very, very simple. Mark, you're being naive. It doesn't help anybody. Give us the rest of the sentence. Please give us the rest of the sentence. So at least we can open up a little bit of debate. That's what the United stand's always been about. Idiotic statements like that mean nothing. They mean nothing. George, please. I know you've got it in you. Give us the rest of the sentence. Let me discuss it. Prince Jen has made a contribution. 50-50 with Matic. Much better passer than Fellaini and much better tackler and aerial cover than Fellaini and Carrick. But how will Jose deal with his mobility? Why are people comparing Matic to Fellaini? Why are people saying Matic is better than Fellaini? We're not selling Fellaini. Matic is going to play with Fellaini. It doesn't matter whether he's better than Fellaini. He's playing with him. We're not selling Fellaini. Why are people feeling... Why are fans justifying the Matic signing with Fellaini? It's irrelevant. We're keeping Fellaini. Matic is coming in with what we've got already. You cannot say Matic is better than Fellaini because Fellaini is staying. We've not sold Fellaini to get Matic. If we're doing that, fine. Let's open up the debate about that. We're not selling Fellaini to get Matic. We're keeping Fellaini and we are getting Matic. We are adding another slow footballer to Fellaini and Carrick in our midfield. That is what we're doing. That is why I'm against Matic. That is why I wanted Fabinho, Nainggolan, even Eric Dyer. I wanted somebody in the midfield who was more tenacious and more dynamic than what we've got with Fellaini and Carrick. We're just adding another one. We're not selling Fellaini. I think this is a total myth that people are justifying the Matic signing on. We are not selling Fellaini. You will see games next season with Fellaini and Matic starting in a Manchester United midfield. What a bloody nightmare. Do you reckon... Okay, that whizzed by. Sorry, I should have got that quote sooner than that. We're going to be a counter-attacking team next season. Andrew Malloy, I shouldn't have laughed at your comment. How do you propose we're going to counter-attack when we've got midfielders who can't pass and have to take a first touch? Counter-attacking football is based on quick movement of the ball. Fellaini takes a touch every time he gets it and he can't pass longer than 5 metres. How can you counter-attack through a player like that? You can't. I can't read the rest, Andrew. I'm sorry. How can we... I don't think people understand counter-attacking football. Just because we've got Lukaku, Rashford and Martial and they're quick players, they have to have quick ball from the midfield. Where's that coming from? Where is it coming from? Would you like to see Jose try Phil Jones at centre midfield? I'm going. I'm off. See you later. Bye. That's the last one. I can't do any more. Seriously. Seriously. Think before you type. Think before you type. Would you like to see Jose try Phil Jones at centre defensive midfield? Oh my God. Is this what we've become? This is what I fear. This is why I try so hard. This is why I take the dislikes. This is why I take all the hate and everything. Because I believe in what Manchester United are. I believe in the Manchester United that I've seen throughout my life and the way we play. Phil Jones as a centre defensive midfielder. Oh my God. Oh my God, how is that even a sentence? How can that even be a sentence to our club? Is that how far we're falling? Is that how slow the expectations are? Phil Jones as a centre defensive midfielder. What's next? What's next? Ashley Young back up front. My God. Mikas says, Mark, you have to consider... No, Gabriel says he was clearly joking. Well, he can. He can have it as a joke. But actually, if you look on our Twitter timeline today, somebody else did say it. So not everybody's joking. Mikas says, Mark, you have to consider the possibility of Jose not being backed by the board. Well, he still picks the team, mate. He still picks that team today. He could have picked a better team today. You seem like you need a good Bud Light, says Matthew. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until the game kicks off. Jose Mourinho says the best show ever. Look, you know what? In total fairness to everybody who's getting really, really wound up about what I'm saying, in total fairness, look, it's real. I don't dislike any of you lot who were saying whatever you're saying. We all love Manchester United, and life would be very boring if we just all sat there and went, yes, very happy with the team tonight. Very happy with Matic signing. Very happy with Fellaini playing third game in a row. We're robots. You know, that would be very, very boring. There's channels for that. We're the United Stand. We're a fan channel. We say it how it is. You will say it how it is. I will say it how I feel it. That is the genius of United Stand, because it's real. You're not meant to agree with what I'm saying. You're meant to just enjoy what the channel's all about. So, look, don't take it serious. Well, I am being honest about my opinion, but if we meet each other tomorrow, don't punch me in the face or anything like that. Let's have a chat. Let's go for a beer and have a chat. That's what it is. I have these same conversations with other United fans who are my friends who want Matic and they like Fellaini. And we will sit there over 2 or 3 pints and tear our hair out at each other, but we're still mates. That's the beauty of football. So hang in there. Danny has made a contribution. He says Jose's turning the midfield into something that battles for 10th place. Too slow, lack of ability, lack of ambition, not the United way. Can I just say, look, in relation to Matic, I hope I'm wrong. There is not one part of me that wants to sit there next May and say, remember what I said about Matic, I'm right, because you know what that means? It means Manchester United will finish 5th or 6th. I don't want to be right. I've been right about Fellaini for 3 years, and I take no satisfaction in it. I don't want to be right about Matic. I'm not that sort of fan. I'll tell you what I think. I don't think he's the right signing. I think he'll be a flop. I don't want him. But I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, because that will mean that Manchester United have succeeded and they've won the league, and I will happily sit here in front of you and said, Mourinho and his 300 grand a week, that's why he's paid it, and he is right. I want to be wrong. I don't want to be right. But unfortunately, I think he's a bad signing, and I don't think he's the right signing. And I've been saying this for 3 years about Fellaini, and I've been right. And I take no pleasure in that at all. I don't want to be right, but I can't move away from what I think. I'd be a total hypocrite and a liar if I'd sat here with you lot for 3 years and said, you know what, Fellaini's a real trier. He gives it his all. I like him. I don't believe that. Simon Black's made a contribution. Fabinho was phenomenal last night in centre defence midfield for Monaco. Best player on the pitch. He'd be our CDM for 8 years. No long-term plan from Jose. Simon, so many of us want Fabinho. He's available and we're buying Matic. It's going to scar me for the season. Peter Hoyne says, using the players we already have in the squad, what would be your ideal starting 11? Very quickly, that's not what I want to click. I would have played that team tonight. Very easy, Peter. It's almost like it's staged. That would have been my team tonight. What's wrong with playing that team tonight? You can't play 2 Rashfords up front, by the way. It would have to be Lukaku up front. But why couldn't we play that team tonight? I would have played that team. Pushing Mata forward as a number 10. We get a glimpse of the sort of team that he wants to play and the formation. The team we're picking tonight, which is going along the bottom of your screen, I just do not understand it. Sebi, that's racist, you're blocked. Daniel Steen, I love the content, stay honest. You know what? We've had a lot to be positive about over the last 12 months, but I think people forget with the United Stand that we will always be honest. We will always be honest, and we won't shirk what we really feel. If you feel something different, then you get commenting, or you phone in tomorrow night on the Skype Goldbridge show, or Thursday night. That's what it's all about. You're very, very welcome to your opinion, and I will read them out as long as I don't see like abuse or anything like that, because we don't entertain that. Afonso says that Fabinho's not available. Wake up and smell the coffee, Afonso. Fabinho was available. Monaco have sold too many players now, so they won't sell anybody else. But Fabinho has been available all summer. Matic and Fellaini and Pogba against Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva and Gundogan. Jax King says it's an embarrassing transfer window. I agree. Abi Adiyama has made a contribution. He says, Mark, I completely agree with you. I feel the fans are beginning to accept mediocrity from this club. That's how great clubs fail. Yes, look at Liverpool. No, you know what? I think that's a very, very good comment from Abi. Liverpool haven't won the title for like 25 years. Arsenal haven't won it for 10 years. We are falling into that trap. I felt certain United fans have been falling into that trap for the last 3 years. Mediocrity. I mean, Fellaini is the prime example. I'm sorry, if you're a United fan and you back Fellaini, I think you're falling into that trap that Abby's on about. You clearly cannot remember what United are all about. You clearly cannot remember that people like Phil Neville, who were good midfielders, couldn't get in United's team because they were squad players. You clearly cannot remember that people, that Fellaini in a United team that was any good would be lucky to be allowed to sweep the floor. It's not hate, it's standards, and our standards have slipped because we allow players to play in our first team who are just not good enough. Lingard is one, Darmian's another, Phil Jones. These are players that they'd be lucky to play for West Brom, and they are basically being picked for Manchester United. And I know some people hate that because they want to be positive, but I think that's the defining line between a lot of United fans. There are those who like, oh, he tries really hard, I'll back him, well done, pat on the back. And then there are people like me who are like, yeah, they try really hard, well done to them, but ultimately they're not good enough. And that is the problem. We're slipping into that mediocrity where you don't like people picking on Fellaini. You don't like people picking on Fellaini. You don't like people picking on Lingard. You don't like people picking on Phil Jones because you're nice people. And I like that and I respect that. But ultimately, we're not picking on them. We're just saying that they're not good enough for United. And that is what Abby's on about. That mediocrity is slipping into our support. We're losing sight of what you need to be a Manchester United player. And Liverpool fell into that trap. Where they back people like Lucas Levy, Jordan Henderson, Skirtle over the years, Carragher, people like that. Carragher was a bang average defender, and just because he got a few England caps, not many, but Carragher wasn't a very good defender, and he's held up as this Liverpool legend. And he Carragher stands exactly for the problem with Liverpool. He's held up as a Liverpool great. In a time when Liverpool were pretty poor. They did well to win a couple of Champions. They did well to win the Champions League and a few cups, but in relation to the league, nowhere near it. I mean, Carragher is your epitome of a Fellaini who he tries really hard, but is a limited footballer. But Liverpool fans they'll get off their seat. They'll give their shirt to Carragher if they see him on the street. But he's just a bang average player and a pure example of standard slipping. Because if you go back to that Liverpool team of the 80s that was very good, Carragher would be lucky, like I say, to be sweeping the dressing room. He'd be nowhere near it. But so many Liverpool fans love Carragher now. And that is what I'm trying to say. It's like you can love Lingard, you can love Fellaini, and I don't have a problem with that. But harshness about what United really is, they shouldn't be anywhere near it. They should be nowhere near it because the quality you need to win Premier League titles is not those players. And Liverpool have been doing it for 25 years. Arsenal are doing it now. Walcott, nowhere near an Arsenal Premier League winning side, but some Arsenal fans like him. You fall into the trap unwittingly. Richie CR's made a contribution. Mark, I agree with you, but a midfield three of Herrera, Matic and Pogba, while it is true, is not ideal. It is at least a small improvement on last year's midfield. Fellaini's my main concern. I totally agree. Richie, if we were playing Matic, Herrera and Pogba as a midfield three every game next season, it's an improvement on Fellaini. And as much as it pains me to say it, because I love Michael Carrick, it's an improvement on Carrick because of decline. It is an improvement, but I don't think we'll see that midfield three very often. I cannot see him moving away from Fellaini. Even if we sign Matic, I still think he'll find a way to pick Fellaini. God, God, I'm exhausting myself. Lazy left eye. I do have a lazy left eye. Well done. Well done for spotting that. Cobb Ross Atkins. Who says Matic isn't the number 2 choice? Fabinho being number 1. Monaco refusing to sell him at any price, so we do keep Fellaini or get Matic instead. Cobb Ross Atkins. As I understand it, Matic is not even second choice. He may be 4th choice. Nainggolan and Dyer, Eric Dyer from Spurs, were players that Mourinho wanted. Whether Fabinho pushes him to 4th choice, I don't know. But Matic is 3rd choice at best, which I don't blame Mourinho about that. I blame the Glazers, because if we'd offered the right money for Nainggolan and or Dyer, we would have got them. It's penny pinching. I think we had 40 million to spend on a centre defensive midfielder, and Matic is the only one we can get. What is the reason behind Mourinho's obsession with Fellaini? Says Jay Sellers. I'd love to know. I think it's the most relevant comment ever. I've got no idea what it is. Got no idea. Matic is a waste of money, says Hardcore Gamer HD. Look, I don't really care what you lot say, because it's down to me what I think as a United fan, and you must all have your own opinion. But I cannot react to Matic signing and lie to you. I cannot say what a great signing he is, because every single one of you would have a right to put a comment on that video and say, Mark, you're a hypocrite. A total hypocrite. I cannot do that. I will not do that. I don't want him. I don't rate him. The minute he holds a United shirt up, I have to back him. That's the bottom line. And I back him because I believe in Mourinho. That's the only reason. But I cannot be a hypocrite. And I think many of you are. Sorry. I really respect a lot of you. I like you. I think you're fantastic in the way you get involved in this channel. But I read a lot of your comments tonight on that live comments, and I'm reading and I'm thinking, well, that's not what you said about Matic 2 weeks ago. A lot of you are flippant about your opinion, and you know who you are. You know who you are. I'm saying I'll back Matic when he signs because Mourinho wants him, but I don't want him. And I know for a fact loads of United fans didn't want him either. So if you're changing your opinion now, all I would say is he's at best our 3rd choice centre defensive midfielder, and he 100% is a player that Chelsea don't want anymore, that we're going to spend over, well, 40 million on. Too much. But make your own mind up. Ali says, Mark, I think Mourinho's trying to wind you up. Team news has changed. Darmian in for Fosu Mensah. Darmian was in it anyway. Oh no, it wasn't. Team gets even better then. Team gets even better. It's a depressing Sunday. We've all got work tomorrow. No, I'm not being too negative. Look, if you don't like what I'm saying, bye-bye. Off you go. Hot noodle and a wank. It's like, you either watch it or you don't. Don't tell me I'm being too negative. This is how I feel. It's an opinion. Everybody's got an opinion. I cannot stand that sort of flippant 3-word response. Forget that. You engage that thing between your ears, and instead of saying something that's just obtuse and ridiculous, actually you've got 2 sentences. Put something in there constructive. Because for all the dislikes we've had tonight, I've not seen anything in the live comments that's made me want to read it out that is contrary to what I'm saying. All I'm seeing is silly little comments from people that you've lost. Like Andy C says, baby crying. Andy C, I know what that C stands for. It's got 4 letters and it ends with a T, because you haven't got the brains to engage it and put anything in there that I might read out. You've got nothing. All you've got is frustration that your brain can't calculate anything to put in anything in a sentence to come back with what I'm saying. You can't come back at me and say that team's a joke. You can't come back at me and say Fosu Mensah's been dropped for Darmian. That's a really good decision. You can't come back at me and say that Fellaini playing his 3rd game in a week is a positive. You can't come back at me and say that Matic is our number 1 centre defensive midfielder and he's not a flop that Chelsea don't want anymore. You can't. So all you can throw at me is little bits of abuse, and you call yourself a United fan and you're taking your frustration out on me, but you don't actually have a counter argument. That's not my problem. That's your problem. Very frustrated life. Do you think you're smarter than the rest of us? Says Barry is puzzled. Oh, Barry. You clearly don't understand what this channel's about at all. Mark, what is the job of CDM? To intercept the ball and start the attack again, says Michael Amafo. No, it isn't. I disagree with you because you're trying to make me fall into a trap and say that that's what Matic does. The central defensive midfielder over the last 2 to 3 years has evolved massively. It's not about breaking the play up and passing to an attacking midfielder 5 yards away from you. The new central defensive midfield role is basically encapsulated by people like Kante and Wanyama, who are progressive, tenacious centre defensive midfielders who don't just sit in front of the back four, but they are tenaciously going after the ball, hunting it down, winning it, giving it to somebody in front of them with the range of passing that they can actually hit a 30-yard pass, a 20-yard pass, a 10-yard pass. That's the modern centre defensive midfielder. They are aggressive. They go hunting for the ball. Your old centre defensive midfielder, which is what Carrick was, which for 10 years was exactly what you need, your Busquets. Sit in front of the back four, positionally sound. When they get the ball with no pressure because teams are holding back a bit, you're hitting passes all over the shop. Football's changed in the last 3 years. Teams are pressing from the front. They're pressing from the front. Carrick against Liverpool in January got swamps because Liverpool pressed him from the front. If you're Carrick, you're Matic, they're a dying breed and they're almost redundant. There was a few comments last year that I sort of tried to ignore, and they were basically based out around, is Mourinho archaic? Is he a dinosaur? Has he not realised that football's moved on in the way that he plays and he focuses on big physical midfielders? Well, we're about to find out this season. Oh, Barry, it was a fair question. Well, do you? Barry, how long have you watched the United Stand? Do you watch it on a Monday? Do you watch it on a Thursday? Do you watch it on a Saturday? Are you watching it now where I'm reading your comments out? Do I think I'm better than you? No, I do not. Did I start the United Stand because I think I'm better than you? No, I didn't. Am I trying to get more of you lot involved in the United Stand? Yes, I am. So I don't think I'm any better than you. I just think I'm somebody who had the foresight to set up a fan channel and has built it from nothing to what it is now and involves you lot and wants you to get involved. I think your opinion is better and more valid than any pundit who reads a script out in front of them and gets paid thousands of pounds every week. I think your opinion is very, very important and it is no better than mine, and I've always been very consistent about that. Anthony Amula has made a contribution. What's your thoughts on Man City being looked at for fair play rule violations, like they're going to spend up towards 400 million? Look, I don't really give a damn about Manchester City. I don't care if they're breaking financial fair play. It's not my role. It's not what me as a Manchester United fan needs to bother about. Manchester United have the money to spend £400 million comfortably under financial fair play, but we don't do it because we've got penny pinching owners. Ben Lloyd, I hope Mourinho wins the title, although if he doesn't, then questions might be raised about the Glazers, which could be a positive. Well, maybe we need to move away from the Glazers. I don't think they've backed our manager, but he's buying Matic. You know, the Glazers haven't said you're having Matic. Mourinho's picked Matic. That's on him, I'm afraid. Mourinho can moan about the signings and the lack of investment by the club, but he's picked Matic. That takes it away from that for me. I'm not anti-Mourinho. Where is he? Where is he? I need to find this Barry. You're lucky he whizzed by. When does the match start? Woo! Jesus Christ! We've been in a right massive. How did that happen? That is the comment of the night. How did that happen? Jesus Christ! It's whizzed by. Talk about an hour. We should be kicking off. We should be kicking off. My God. That is the comment of the night. We could have carried on for ages, and the game's about to kick off. What a comment that was. I don't know whether you can hear Sebastian as well. He's crying. He's not happy about Fellaini starting. Oh, it's all going on. I'm hoping to have Mad Marcus with me as well, because that will help. Whoa, what's going on here? What's going on? This is what happens when kids get hold of your TV. Right, I've got a contribution from Michael Adams. Just think, if we owned our own club, we could afford Bale this season. Now, what a team that would be. Oh God, what have they done? What have they done to my telly? There we go. Not prepared, because we got into rants. I'll tell you what, if I hit that microphone out my ear again, I'm going to punch myself in the face. Oh God. Talk about not prepared. Oh, come on, please. Oh, no, it's not kicked off yet. We're in exactly the right place. I'll tell you what as well. My MUTV was on pause, so the game should be kicking off very soon. It's miles behind. What's going on here? This is one of those days, folks. Really is one of those days. Matic to United and... Okay, the game has kicked off. We're 1:50 in. What a joke. What a joke. Okay. It has kicked off, thanks. Oh. Right, I've got a few contributions. Hey Mark, where's Ali Ali? Says Chris Tech Tips. PHP, Mike Riley says, Mark, you have been told many times that Matic is forcing the move and refusing to sign a 2-year contract. Chelsea don't know what to sell to Manchester United. He's not a reject and we need a ball carrier. I disagree with that, but, you know, fair enough. I'm trying to get Marcus on, but yet again, it looks like he's bottled it. Trying to sort of get involved in the game here as well at the same time. I will get up to date with you, don't worry. We've got a timer to put on as well. So we've got Carrick sat in front of the midfield as per usual. And then Fellaini and Pogba as a midfield too. Right, we're on now. This should work. Yeah, the game has kicked off, everybody. Apologies for that. It's slow. But Romero in goal. We're 5 minutes in. I'll get the timer up as well. Fosu Mensah was starting. I have got no idea why he got swapped out for Darmian. If anybody has an idea, let me know. It could be something positive that he's going to play him as a CDM in the second half. Who knows? That would be interesting. If you're new to the United Stand, remember to not drop a like. I'm not bothered about them today. Subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. We're live every single night at 8:30, and we have transfer show every morning. which will be interesting. Sunday Night Live is normally at 8:30. Tonight it will be at 8:30, but we'll encompass that with a match reaction as well. Hey, we've got Marcus joining us now. Hopefully. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. Oh, it's getting on my nerves. It's getting on my nerves. Marcus, don't worry, I'm trying to just stop ringing me and then I might be able to do it because it's messing around. I think it'll work better if I call you. Skype's messing around a bit. I mean, even against this Norwegian team early on, you look at Carrick and Fellaini in the midfield, it just looks so slow. Again, we're trying to sell shirts by picking this rubbish kit.
Hello.
All right, mate. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. Yeah.
Good, good. Nice to have you back involved.
Yeah, no worries. I've been phoning you.
I know it's playing up a little bit. So got Marcus on. Got the team news going along the bottom there. As I was saying before, what was I saying before? Fosu Mensah was going to start, but he's picked Darmian instead.
Yep.
Your man Fellaini playing tonight. You must be happy.
I would have thought actually you would have played someone else in there, seeing as he has played quite a lot over the pre-season. So I would have thought against this side. I don't know much about the opposition, but I would think that our youth would have been quite capable of beating it. Yeah, I mean Michael Carrick in there as well. Midfield's not too quick, but try and find a positive out of it. You know, at least Michael Carrick can pick a pass and he can tackle. Oh, Fellaini's just played a good through ball there to Darmian. Oh.
You're obviously ahead of me because mine's a little bit behind, even though I'm watching it on. There's a rubbish cross by Darmian. Yeah, I'm not. We've been having a little bit of a chat, which probably explains.
Is that what you call it? Is it?
Yeah, probably explains the 500 dislikes, but I don't really care. Otherwise, I'd have gone home a long time ago with my ball if I cared about people who disagree with me. But I don't actually understand what we're doing in Norway with this. I mean, there's a little shot of Mourinho there talking about tactics. To be honest with you, I've got no idea why he's picked this team. It baffles me. I don't understand why he's picking Carrick and Fellaini together. They're slower than a lorry with biscuit wheels going through tea. You've got Blind and Darmian, the most undynamic fullbacks in the world. Phil Jones, Mkhitaryan and Mata as wingers. I mean, I just think it's one of the most boring teams I've seen United put out in a long time. And again, he doesn't need to do that at this stage. We're 2 weeks away. 2 weeks today we play West Ham. And he puts a team out like this that is going to be a total bunch of strangers compared to the team that he picks. I don't understand it. If it's that much of a hindrance to him, why are we even here?
Yeah, I can see your point there, but I'm trying to look at it in a positive way, and I think no matter what thing, there is no need to put out our best team against this opposition. I think I take pre-season as it's all about getting minutes into the legs, building fitness. Results, I agree with Jose, don't really matter. But I mean, as long as, I suppose the main thing is everyone gets equal game time, and hopefully we come out of these games with no injuries. What with the Super Cup looming and the Premier League season starting in a couple of weeks' time, no injuries for me would be the main thing. So if we come through these next two games, I would be quite satisfied. But the strange one for me is the Bay and Lindelof partnership. So I would have thought they would have played together on the pre-season a fair bit.
They haven't yet.
But Bay's suspended for the Champions League first game, isn't he, and the Super Cup?
I think the Sampdoria team, I think you're more or less skirting around the issue. I think the team that we play against Sampdoria, which I think is Wednesday night, is probably going to be his first team. And I would imagine that's when we'll see Smalling and Lindelof.
Possibly, yeah. I would assume that, one of this game or the Sampdoria game, he would play his preferred 11 to get them gelled and get them ready for the Real Madrid game. That team, we've got to be showing that team very, very soon. And obviously the Sampdoria game is the only game that's left if he's not going to do it in this one.
Yeah, because I think we play Sampdoria on Wednesday, and then it's quite a big gap between that. I think we play the Super Cup on the Tuesday, so we've almost got a week break. So he could play a strong team against Sampdoria and then keep it back for the Real Madrid game. But apparently he's going to play the kids in the second half of this. So
I did hear that. Yeah, I did hear that.
I hope that is true. I hope that is true, because it'll be more exciting than this first half. Which, to be honest, I don't understand the cohesion between these teams. This set of players.
Yeah, again, Carrick and Fellaini in the midfield. If the rumours are true and Matic is virtually a done deal, then it is going to be quite a slow midfield. But the guy he's played in the Premier League for a number of seasons. He's pretty much established in the CDM position. And I think, in fairness, mate, you're condemning him a bit before he's even kicked the ball for us. Jose said that Mata was a good player at Chelsea, but at United, he's an excellent player because, difference in the teams and the players. So I think maybe, give Matic a chance. Give him you've got to give him at least 4 or 6 games, start the season, and see where it takes us. If it doesn't take us anywhere, then you can say you was right all along. But, we can't do anything. You've got to give the guy a chance.
If he signs for Manchester United, I will give him as long as he's given at Manchester United. There's nothing I can do about it, which is what Lost Boys just said there. I can't, whether I give him a game or I give him as long as he's here, it means nothing. It means nothing what I think. What I'm saying is, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? If Matic signs for us, do you want me to sit here and go, what a great signing he is? Or do you want me to be consistent with what I've said all summer, that I don't rate him, I don't think he's very good?
Well, no, yeah. It's not a great signing. Of course, a lot of United fans would prefer, we just hit the post. Of course, we prefer someone better, younger, more exciting. But
Pogba, Pogba just hit the post there. Yeah. Good shot.
But that's all that's available. Monaco don't want to sell Fabinho. Nainggolan wants to stay in Roma. What is there left? Tottenham won't sell us Eric Dyer.
I think that's depressing in itself, that Matic.
Well, yeah, but that's not our fault.
No, but I think that is depressing. But fault or not, that I think some United fans are trying to convince themselves that Matic is our first choice, and he's not. He's not. No, he's not.
No.
He's what's available.
Yeah, there are plenty of others that are the better signings. Of course they are, but he seems to be the only one that's available. And to be honest. Whether you class him as a Chelsea reject or not, I would rather take him, give him a chance, than have and stick with what we got. We need bodies in the midfield, so fair dues to him. If we want him, if we're in for him, then we take him.
And what about your man? What about your favourite Fellaini?
Fellaini?
Yeah, he's not going anywhere, is he?
I don't think so. No. As much as we don't like it, I'm not a lover of the guy. But he's one of those players that does as he's told. I agree with you. He is a 10, 15 minute option at the end of the game. Chuck the ball in there. He's got the height. He's got the physicality, and he can cause damage. He's not a CDM. Nowhere near it. For me, his role is a number 10. And And yeah, last 10, 15 minutes. But I don't think we're going to see the Matic, Carrick, Fellaini midfield throughout the season. I really don't.
I hope not.
I can't see it, mate. Honestly, I cannot see it. I can't see. I mean, Herrera's only not playing this game because he got that knock, didn't he? Real Madrid. So that's the only reason why he's not playing in here. But I don't agree with completely condemning these people before they're not even signed yet. They're not even holding the shirt. It's one thing to say that we don't want them, but it's another thing to completely say that they're crap, they're donkeys, and God knows what else. And Carrick's your favourite player. How can you call him a donkey? You love Michael Carrick.
I just thought they were in there. No, I do believe that. I do believe that. And, you know, maybe it's a little bit harsh, but I just get frustrated, like most Manchester United fans do, that, look, Michael Carrick, if he was playing for Manchester United when he's 50, sorry, he's going to be a donkey, isn't he? He's going to have a bad back. He's going to be, you know, he's going to be... That's what I'm trying to say. Is, look, you know, Michael Carrick's been a fantastic player for United, and if you want to just keep respecting him, Brian Robson was absolutely amazing for United. Would you put him in the midfield now? It's the same. I always said that about Rooney. You know, Rooney was a fantastic player for United, but he's finished. He's finished as a United player, and I think Carrick's the same. I don't think you learn anything from playing somebody like Michael Carrick, and I think we'll lose a lot of points by playing Carrick against decent teams next season. I just want... Look, I can't move away from the fact I think Matic is a bad signing. He's the one that worries me the most from all the signings that Mourinho's made. I've got big concerns about him. I hope that I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. As I said, you know, I don't want to be right about that, and I don't think any United fan who's got their concerns about Matic wants to be right. With Mourinho gets paid a lot of money to be Manchester United manager, and of course we want to be able to say at the end of the season, you know what? In all fair dues, I had really concerns about Matic, but Mourinho's got it bang on. That's what I want to happen at the end of the season, but I have worries about it. And what frustrates me the most is when I look on the live comments and see the massive amount of comments about people backing Matic, and I don't care what people think. I just think one word is in my head, and I always say what I think. What a bunch of hypocrites you really, really are, because we've spoken about Matic for a long time on this summer, and everybody, virtually everybody, has said don't want him, Chelsea reject, too slow. Sunday, flippant fans back on the bandwagon again. We're going to sign him, and everyone's like, yeah, I want Matic. Oh, I mean, like, the best line I've heard is he'll set Pogba free. Like, Pogba's been Nelson Mandela locked up in South Africa, and Matic has got the keys to free him. I mean, what is that sort of... What is that statement about? Matic is going to set Pogba free. What does that actually mean, other than total... I think it's some tweet that's gone out and people have liked it and they've gone, yeah, that's a good... I'm going to use that one. Matic is going to set Pogba free. What's he going to... How? What's he going to do? What is he going to do?
I think with that, I would read into that because Matic is specialised in his position.
But Carrick last season played well for 10 games before Liverpool found him out. He didn't set Pogba free.
Yeah, but then this season, Carrick's a donkey. So we need a replacement.
No, but what I'm saying is, Carrick last season, when he played well for 10 games, he didn't set Pogba free. And I don't think people understand. Matic doesn't set Pogba free. Carrick doesn't set Pogba free. Herrera doesn't set Pogba free. Mourinho sets Pogba free by saying you haven't got any defensive duties. That's how you set Pogba free. It's what happened when he was at Juventus. But this ridiculous line that Matic sets Pogba free, it goes back to what I was saying before. I love Manchester United fans, think they're the best in the world, but I also think some of them are very, very flippant. And I find it laughable that nobody wanted Matic and now loads of people want him just because we're signing him. And it's such a flippant opinion to take. And I'd love to sit down with the room of people who said they didn't want him, and just because we're going to sign him now they do, and say, what's changed? What has changed? Why do you want him? I agree, and I've actually said myself, I don't want Matic, but I trust this manager, and I will back the manager, and I will not moan about Matic as soon as he holds a United shirt up, because there is no point. He's going to be here for at least 3 years as soon as we've signed him. Why waste my energy keep telling everybody that I don't rate him? I will back him, but until the minute he signs, I've got to be honest with what I think.
Right. I'm going to say something different to you there, right? If you say there's no point in moaning once he's signed and you back him, right? What is the point of moaning about him? Because you can't change the fact that Mourinho wants him. If Mourinho believes in the lad, he knows the lad. He's trained with him. He's taught him.
Yeah, but Mourinho believes in Fellaini, and most United fans don't. So just because Mourinho thinks he's the right player, you've got to have that concern.
Well, yeah, maybe.
But Mourinho's not totally right, is he? He's right a lot of the times, but this might be just one where he's got it wrong. A lot of fans last season were saying Mourinho's, he's not in touch with the modern game. He's still playing this sort of, physicality, defensive game against the top teams. He doesn't play expansive football against the top teams.
But what would make you so sure that Fabinho could do that when he's not Premier League proven? He doesn't know English football, and would take, I would think, a long time to gel into this team.
Well, you might be right on that. I've never said that Fabinho would be a definite guarantee. I don't think any player is a guarantee. I think Nainggolan could be a risk, but I'd still take that type of a footballer. It's about the type of footballer they are. I don't think you can just sign a player because they're Premier League proven.
No.
And Matic is 29. And also, yeah. I think people get lost behind this. Oh, he's won 2 Premier League titles. Well, to be honest with you, 2 years ago, Mourinho got the sack because of Matic and a few others. Matic was disgraceful that season, which is surprising, really, that Mourinho wants him, because Matic was one of the worst players with Hazard that season that Mourinho got the sack. And last year, he had Kante playing with him. That's why I think that. That's why I think he's such a risk, because I don't know how good he is anymore.
Well, so I mean, it's every player in this transfer window is going to be a risk, no matter what.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah. So we know that Italians are notorious for not doing well in the Premier League. So
I'll tell you who's been awful in this game, just to give people an update. Mkhitaryan's been absolute muck on the left. He's been really bad. Misplayed passes, getting tackled. Well. He's down injured at the moment. Just to give you an update on the game, it's been a bit of a boring game. I mean, Carrick's looked like Carrick of 10 years ago, but this game should almost come with a warning that it's Valerenga are very rubbish. Let me just read this contribution out, Marcus. It's from XB Roughneck. He says, Matic worries you more than Lindelof, ? Lindelof plays just like he did for Benfica. Lindelof is not a good defender, so stop being a hypocrite. I don't really understand your point there. You're comparing a centre-back from Benfica against the midfielder who's 29 from Chelsea. It's a flawed comment. I appreciate the comment, but I don't really understand what you're coming at. Lindelof's got, at his age, Lindelof's going up. He's got an upward groove. It's a bit like when you play FIFA or Football Manager. A young player's got an upward groove. He's got a lot of potential, but he is a risk. I think any signing's a risk. I agree with that. But to compare Lindelof, who's on an upward groove that could go suddenly down, I agree, but it's on an upward groove, with Matic, who is on a downward groove based on age, I don't know what you're coming at from there. I think I back Lindelof. I think he'll be a good signing, but Matic, I can only be honest. I can't change my opinion for you because you want me to. I can't. I'm more worried about Mkhitaryan's injury at the moment.
No, he's fine.
He's all right. He's back up.
Yeah.
I'd love Perisic. I would love Perisic. I hope we get that deal done. That's controversial because some people don't want him. But Matic is better than nobody. I would say that. He is better than nobody. If nobody else is available and that's all we can get, then I'd rather get Matic than nobody. But I think we could have done more to get the players that we wanted to get. If Eric Dyer, I'll throw this to you, Marcus. If Eric Dyer and Nainggolan and Fabinho were the first choices for CDM and we couldn't get them because I just think if Man City wanted those players, they'd get them. And Manchester United aren't getting them because Mourinho's not being backed by the owners in the transfer market. Because if you gave Spurs 60 million, they'd sell Eric Dyer. If you gave Monaco 50 million, they'd sell Fabinho. If you gave Roma 50 million for Nainggolan, they would sell him. And I think we're having to take the fourth choice, not because those clubs don't want to sell them, but because we won't pay the price.
See, for me, my midfielder would have been Eric Dyer. I've said that for months. He can play centre back in a back three if that's how he wanted to go. He can play centre back in a back four if we wanted to play like that. He's English talent. He's young. There's room for improvement, and I would have thought, being Premier League proven, he would have been the one.
Well, that's the one that Mourinho wanted, apparently. And he is controversial in his own right. I think there are some people out there who would prefer Matic. I'd much prefer Dyer for the reasons you've said. But he was the one that Mourinho wanted, apparently. And I just think as Manchester United, we shouldn't be settling. I don't like settling. I think we should be getting the players that we want. Because it's very easy then for Mourinho to say next summer, I didn't get the players I wanted.
Yeah, but, I mean, again, if he says that, then we know who's to blame. Yeah, for all we know, Mourinho's got a set budget here. You know, for all we know,
I think you're right. I do.
Yeah, I mean, if they're tightening the purse strings, then he can only do or buy what he can, and if that means you've got to go bargain shopping, then yeah, fine. But these players, I agree with you in the fact that these players, whoever he wanted, should have been in and done by now. They should have done, because going 2 weeks away from the Premier League season, if you're going to be buying an overseas player, you've got to allow them time to adjust, get settled into the team, meet the teammates, training. We saw what a big thing it was with Mkhitaryan last season. I mean, he didn't play for the first 3 months. So, with the squad being so thin, we don't want another situation like that. So, I would think, you know, the sooner they're in, the better.
Great first touch by Fellaini there. I don't even need to tell you what happened.
No. But I think Perisic, you know, I know he's not Italian, but he plays in the Italian league, and Italians are notoriously known for not getting on in the Premier League. So, to me, that's a risk. You know, same as Nainggolan would have been a risk. Nainggolan, whatever his name is. But yeah, I mean, if they're tightening the purse strings, then he's got to be careful, and he's got to make sure that the players that he's buying are already established and don't need much telling to do their job.
Chris Davis just made a very, very good point that Rashford is already looking frustrated half an hour in. Look, yeah. We are playing that static 4-3-3 again. It's the one we used between January and Christmas. It's the one where you actually do play three midfielders. I've liked the glimpse that we saw on the US tour where we get a genuine number 10, which most of the time has been Mkhitaryan. But yet again, we've got that static Fellaini and Carrick. Pogba sort of trying to do both roles. And lo and behold, Rashford is being isolated. Barcelona beat this Valerenga side 7-0 without Messi. It's a very even game. And we are half an hour in. And all we're creating is long shots again. We just seem unable to create genuine chances at the moment, and I think a lot of it comes down to this. Yeah, we never look like conceding. The positive is that we don't look like conceding, but it's that whole argument that gets put against Jose again, that defensively very, very good, but where is the creativity? We know he can do it, because I actually think if we put the ball in the back of the net, we were a fantastic team up until Christmas last season. But then he went very defensive because we dropped so many points and we grind out results. But again, this is Valerenga, Marcus. This is Valerenga, yeah. Everybody at home. This is a mid-table Norwegian team, and we are playing the static 4-3-3, where a flat back four, a defensive midfield, and three up front that are isolated. I don't understand that. Why not try the 3-5-2 or the 4-4-2 with the number 10 in between? It's just a very... And no wonder Rashford gets frustrated, because there's nothing going on.
I mean, you know,
I don't think we'll concede a goal, because defensively we look sound, but yeah. I don't see anything. This is a poor side we're playing today, and we should be really, you know, we're treating them like we're playing Stoke away. It is that sort of game. Yeah, we're the better team, yeah. But it's when the goal's going to come. Instead of, we should be scoring 3 or 4. It's
a very slow, lethargic team. The pace isn't great, but there are people in that side with pace. I mean, Mkhitaryan, Pogba. Mata's not the fastest, but
I hate Mkhitaryan as a winger. I don't really like Mata as a winger either. But I think this is why we need Perisic. I was talking about this on the preview show. If you play Rashford and Martial as wingers with Lukaku up front, you actually haven't got a striker to come on if you want to take Lukaku off.
That's right, yeah.
So he's got to use like Mkhitaryan or Mata as a winger and Lingard as wingers, because then at least he's got a striker that he can bring on. But I think we're very short in a lot of positions, to be honest. I don't know what to sort of predict for next season other than winning the league, because Mourinho always does it in the first 2 years at a new club. But if he didn't have that stat, I'd be very concerned.
Do you know what? Even with that stat that Mourinho has, I don't think we'll win it. I honestly don't see this team winning. This team at this moment will not win the league, in my opinion.
And you're a very positive bloke, and for you to say that, I think that's because I'm only basing it. I said it at Christmas last year. United will win the title because Mourinho always wins it in the first 2 years, and it's such a baseless, childish comment, really, because you're just basing it on a stat that has no relevance on what reality is. And I think it's refreshing from you to say that, because if I wasn't just hiding behind that stat, how can we go from being 20 points off the title in 6th place to winning a league title when effectively, let's be honest, whatever you think about Rooney and Zlatan, we've only replaced those two with Lukaku. We've replaced two big players with Lukaku. The problems of last season are still there. Janusaj wasn't even here last year, so you can't say, well, at least we've get rid of him. He was nothing to do with last year. He was on loan.
No.
Lindelof is another centre-back. Yeah, but Rojo's injured, so you could just say he's replacing Rojo. Lukaku is replacing two players, and at the moment we haven't signed anybody else. So to think we're going to win the league, I think, well, of course we can. Leicester won the league, but I can understand why even the most positive of United fans are saying, I can't see how we're going to do it.
Going by what happened last season, the problems we had scoring against the lesser teams, we've bought in Lukaku, who can score against the lesser teams, but has that, some people say he can't score against the bigger teams. So we've basically Zlatan's gone, as far as we know at the minute. So we've replaced a guy who scores against the big teams but not the lower league teams with a guy who scores against the lower league teams but not the big teams. So it's a catch-22. I think the problem will still be there. If we could somehow, if we had Zlatan and Lukaku up front, problem solved. But we might not. Well, we're not going to have that until January if we re-sign Zlatan. Which by then we could already be out of sight, too far behind in the league. So it's a big risk, I think, not buying another striker. My preferred choice was Morata because he was experienced in Europe, and I think that's a big thing for United in Champions League this season. Lukaku, no Champions League experience, no European experience, as far as I know. So he's going into uncharted territory. And again, if he's injured for a Champions League game, we're back to square one. Just Rashford.
Yeah.
So
for Manchester United, I think we are very, very shallow in certain positions. There's a comment here from Johnny Cox, C2112, says, "Relax, you don't lose the title in July," which I nearly agreed with, but then I thought, well, actually, you do. Of course you lose the title in July. If you buy badly and you sell badly, then you could say that we could look back on this. If we come like 4th next year or 5th, I think a lot of us would look back at Marcus and say we lost this in July. When we did, Woodward didn't get the signing. Mourinho has been very open about that. He's not had the players in he wanted. I think we'd look back at. I think this is one season where we would say we lost it in July, because we would look back. We're not stupid United fans. We all would look back and go, remember when Mourinho was on the US tour and said he hadn't got the players in? I think we would look back on it and say we lost it in July. we didn't get the players in that he wanted.
Yeah, I mean, and until that happens, until he actually comes out and someone's MEFC Rich says Lukaku has played Europa League. Oh, okay.
Here, Paul Robinson says, can you take any positives from this game so far? One single one. There's a big massive hint on how much me and Marcus have been talking about non-match related things. Reminds me of the Van Hal days. But can we take any positive? So you know what? I'm scratching. This is not the thing. Is I think you've got to put it into context. I think Fellaini and Carrick have been better than normal, but I've got to say, Valerenga are a rubbish side. This is a side that got beat 7-0 by Barcelona without Messi, and Barcelona are obviously better than us, but this is a mid-table Norwegian side, equivalent of probably a League One side in England. Not League Two, League One. So who's in League One at the moment? I don't know who's in League One at the moment. MK Dons, they were always in the League One. But, you know, this is a League One opposition, and we're 35 minutes in. We've not cut them apart once. We've had a few edge-of-the-box shots, and it's been quite an equal game. So, positives, let's not blow wind up their backside. Even people like Pogba should be absolutely head and shoulders ahead of this lot. And I don't think anyone's been dreadful, but I think it's been uninspiring is what I would say. Bit lethargic.
Yeah, I mean, no one stood out. The good thing at the minute is no injuries. That would be my plus so far. But I've got to say, looking at this, it honestly doesn't look like anything has changed from last season. We're still playing the same style of football. Obviously Lukaku and Lindelof aren't playing, but Lindelof, is a defender anyway. But the main thing is the attack. Oh, Rashford's down at the minute. But we don't look any worse. But I'm saying we don't look much better.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's struggling. You say very, very, very spot on. A lot of people in the live comments are saying it. Is that we've got one from here from at Chivo. He says the way we played not acceptable. We can moan as we like, but facts is we're not playing good. I think some United fans are just you should never have a moan because it's just negativity. I actually call it proactive positivity because you expect something that's not being delivered. And I'd agree with Marcus. We don't always agree, but I would. That there's no difference to last season, and I wasn't happy with the last 4 months of last season. It was we don't look like we're going to let Valerenga score. So you could take that as a positive, I suppose. Defensively, we look very sound, but attacking-wise, I'm not inspired. I mean, when was the last time we were inspired by United, where we went, oh, this is exciting? I quite liked the first half against Man City on the pre-season tour, where we were getting where we were getting Mkhitaryan in between the lines of our midfield and the attack, and we were running at their back four. But that was Man City's first pre-season game. That was quite good, but we're just not direct. Brad has just said we need more direct players. Fact, it's not direct. Everyone takes a touch, everyone takes a pass. Even Barcelona, who love possession and won't shoot from outside the box, and it's tiki-taka, they'll play a first-time ball. All our build-up play is just take a touch and pass, and that's never. As somebody who's played football, as many of us has, that as a defender, that's fantastic when someone takes a touch because it allows you time to get yourself sorted. And I think we're just very lethargic in our build-up play.
Yeah, and that, is that down to the tactics or is it down to the players?
Looking out. Valerenga are passing the ball around in their half. All our players are in our own half. Pogba, Fellaini, Carrick, and it's like very defensive, and that's all well and good. But we're playing Valerenga. Let's press them higher up the pitch, for God's sake.
Oh yeah, I mean, we should be pressing higher, attacking quicker, but
I think it's embarrassing to go in 0-0 against this lot, to be honest. I hope the kids come out second half and.
Well, that'll be a good thing. Cause if the kids come out in the second half and they get a goal or two, I mean, that'll really show up the first team.
Then again, the flip side is Valerenga will probably play their reserves, and it's like, well, it wasn't as good an opposition.
Yeah, but I mean, the kids need the experience as well. So I would hope that they do come out and put in a good performance and show Jose that they can be trusted to do a job when called upon.
I mean, to be honest, if I go through that team, I know this is going to upset a lot of people, but I'm in that sort of mood. Romero, West Brom goalie. Phil Jones, West Brom defender. Daley Blind, West Brom left back. Darmian, West Brom right back. Fellaini, Sunderland midfielder. Carrick, West Brom midfielder. You know, that's 6 straight away. I just don't. I think they're mid-table Premier League players at best. Rashford, definitely top class. Pogba top class. Bailly top class. Mata and Mkhitaryan top class, but being played out of position. So when you look at it like that, it's not really a surprise that we're struggling.
No, not when you put it in that sort of context. No, but
Paul Barnes says Mkhitaryan is just not a winger. I think I tweeted that out just a minute ago. I cannot stand him as a winger. He's atrocious. But he's a good number 10. But he's just not a winger.
Yeah, I mean, didn't he play number 10 for Dortmund, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, because him and Aubameyang had a pretty decent relationship, I thought. And
he reminds me of Kagawa, really. We bought Kagawa from Dortmund, and then we never played him in the position he was good at. And Mkhitaryan, I think every time he plays at number 10, granted, most of the time it's pre-season, but he just never... We put him on the wing, and he's just not a winger. I think Mkhitaryan's been very, very poor this half, but again, not being played in position. And I tell you what, if I was Valerenga, I'd be ecstatic with this game.
Yeah.
Because they really are a League One team, and they've had nothing to do. And to be honest, Fellaini and Carrick haven't done that bad, but this is their level, League One football. Jared Pesserman says, Jose's won titles in the first 2 seasons, but was always backed by owners and management. We acted like a small club this summer. We didn't match City and Chelsea. What a comment, Jared. What a comment that is.
Yeah.
To the point and strong. I wish I could get my points across like that without coming across as a moany ranter. But yeah, I do agree with it. Well put together. Good comment that, Marcus, I think.
He has
won it in his first 2 years, but he was always backed. I think it's very obvious that Mourinho hasn't been backed this summer.
No, and you got to think to yourself, why hasn't he? We went out of our way to get him when LVG was in charge. So obviously there were talks about money and finances and the transfer windows, everything else. He was backed last summer with Zlatan, Bay, Mkhitaryan and Pogba. And then you compare that to this summer with Lukaku and Lindelof. It's not the same. It's not the same quality at all. So the only reason why I could think is maybe he is on a budget this season. I mean, we got the money for winning Europa League, whatever it was, and League Cup, being back in the Champions League. So you would think there is money to spend. You would think that we could go out and spend what we like on a player because we know we've got millions and millions. So, Fellaini, 1-0.
Oh, we better keep him now.
Get in.
Does it go off the defender?
Does it?
Did it go off the defender?
Yeah, but it was going in anyway, mate. It was a bullet.
Let's have a look.
So Fellaini, he scored, he stands out. Look at that. Goalie weren't getting that anyway.
I think the keeper would have saved it if it hadn't deflected.
Oh way.
Well, that's him on another contract, 4th guaranteed for another year. No, I think it was going in, to be fair. Now I've seen that angle. Look at him. He bloody loves it. West Brom standard player. I wish he'd go. I really wish he'd go. So 1-0 just on half time.
we'd all wished a lot of things, mate, about certain players in this team, but
Yeah, I
like I
don't
say,
mind Smalling, but you'd get rid of him, wouldn't you? So, we've
yeah,
all got our own thoughts.
yeah. Um, Ashley Young would be one straight away.
Oh, Ashley Young is the biggest wage thief. I mean, over 100 grand, and he gets him. The thing about Ashley Young is, he thinks we're all stupid. He gets himself injured all the time when the transfer window's open. I guarantee he'll be miraculously fit by the second week of September again. Always injured when it's time to sell, and then gets himself fit when the transfer window is closed.
Well, that goal should prove, right? Believe in Jose, all right. When it comes to Fellaini, believe in him.
You're having a
The
laugh.
game was so.
I still stand by that was an atrocious half of football, and
he
should be bloody ashamed. I mean, effectively, again, is that what United are all about now? A long ball into the box and a scrappy header. That's how it is. Stoke City, isn't it? That's what we are.
Hang on a minute. That wasn't a long ball. That was a cross.
Yeah, but it wasn't a very good cross, and it was a bit of a.
It don't matter. It was still a cross, and he put it in. That's what
So you're happy with that half, are you?
No, I'm not happy with that half. I'm happy with that bit of play.
There you go. It's half time anyway. It's half time. Manchester United lead. I haven't even changed the score in the excitement of that pulsating half of football from United. 1-0 at half time. Fellaini's probably just earned his new contract. Get your money on fourth for next season, because we ain't doing any better than that with him in the team. But we do lead 1-0. I mean, thoughts, seriously, Marcus, thoughts on that half? I mean, we know he's going to change it all around at half time. Have we really learnt anything from that other than match fitness?
Honestly, no. I thought that first half was absolutely diabolical. It doesn't look that we've moved forward in any way, shape or form. And I honestly think that it's just minutes in the legs, and there's nothing to be learnt from these games, I don't think. This game is, well, it's a bore, isn't it, really? Let's be honest. There's nothing really exciting about it. And it just goes to prove that what a Fellaini goal can do to us. It livens us up. That's how bad the game's been.
Yeah, you could flip it round and say it's a sad state of affairs when Fellaini's our only hope to get us a goal. But yeah, I'd sort of agree. The football is there is forget 1-0, whoever scores it. Well done, Fellaini scores a goal. In all seriousness, but 1-0 with the players we've got out on that pitch, it's just not good enough. That Valerenga team are League One standard, and we've been training for nearly 3 weeks now. We've played 5 games on a tour, and we still look, as Marcus said in the first half, exactly the same as we looked towards the end of last season, with very lethargic football. We don't look like we're going to concede, but that's a Mourinho side. He sets us up very defensively, very well. But we just don't look. Marcus Rashford, he could play for United for the next 100 years. He won't break Rooney's record playing in a team like that, because we're not creating any chances. We had Pogba hit the post. We had a couple of long shots, but we just don't seem to be able to create. I remember when a lot of United last season were saying, well, if we'd scored the chances we missed, we would have finished this, that and the other. I think the reality is those chances that we missed were all before Christmas. We played good football before Christmas, and we missed a hatful of chances. After Christmas and where we are now is very, very similar, really, where we just seem unable to cut teams apart, create chances, get one-on-one chances. They're few and far between. And that's what worries me. I mean, Riaz Rahman's just said there, we're a very boring team to watch. And winning things is fantastic, but surely United, we have to be a side that entertains, and we just don't. There's very little threat, says Kimali Bailey. Some people say, you're still being negative. I would argue that you've not watched that half. We spent most of it talking about different topics, to be fair, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I'm going to let you just interact with the live comments, because I do need a toilet break. But
go on, man.
I'll let you have one when I get back. But I'll crack on for a couple of minutes.
Right then. Right, let's have a look. Let's read some comments out. Steve Buckley, top 4, I will be happy. Yep. Webman, we're very boring to watch. Let's have a look. Ian Dewhurst, it's about just winning. Red Can Devils, it's time for a change. Our fan, it's friendly. Yeah, oh yeah, it is just a friendly. It's nothing major, is it really? We are winning. Relax. Peaks, the tree does it again. Ibrahim, hello, Mad Marcus, hello. Saptashi, the chair, yeah, the chair's back. Grant, who scored the goal? Fellaini. Beck Howe, Marcus, my G. Marcus, thanks for knocking some sense into him from Kyle. No worries. It's not this is the thing. This is what the show's all about. It's about opinion. It doesn't matter whether it's Mark, whether it's me. You know, we have different opinions, and this is what Mark wants for it. So, where did Mark go? Toilet. Ed, keep that positivity. I'm trying. The football was horrible. Comments going so fast I can't catch the names. Mark out this guy in. Oh, thank you, Josh. Fellaini 1-0 when captain. Yeah, that's right. Jan, Patrick. Yeah. Need to stop Mark moaning. Marcus, the equaliser. Fantastic, Mr. Fox. Boring football from Roman. 700 dislikes. Corey. Well, that's not me. Marcus, what is your United season prediction? How will we do? I think with this team, I think we will be fighting for 4th. There isn't much of an improvement on this team. Sorry, but MUFC Rich, Marcus, you're my wife. Oh, cheers. A lot of Kieran says he loves me. I can't read out the P words, I'm afraid. Zaha is dreadful from Andy. It's not good football, but we're winning, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, but I think us as fans should expect a certain style of winning. To be fair, no Marcus is only Mark allowed an opinion on this channel. Fellaini is rubbish. Andres Pereira has only 1 year left on his contract. Oh, does he? Be interesting, eh? See what develops with his situation. Who scored from Max? It was Fellaini. Marcus, are you worried that will happen during mid-season when wear and tear kicks in? Could be. I mean, it is a possibility. And this is why I think with this team, as it stands at the minute, we'll be battling for 4th. So, yeah, when the season really kicks in and injuries kick in, we've not got enough cover at all. Man City will win the league. Maybe. Get out, Fellaini out from Jack. Do you think Fellaini should be selling kebabs from Michael? No, mate, no.
I'm back.
Marcus, take. All right, mate, you're right.
Yeah, wife's just said don't have any more to drink, but I've said you've not seen that first half.
Graham Davies, Marcus, do you think the club is showing a lack of ambition? I think so in terms of transfers. Yeah.
Tell you what I want to say. There's 4,500 of you watching. We've had 733 dislikes on this video. 34. If you like the United stand, come on, drop a like on the video and support the channel. You know, the dislikes are petulant. That the United stand is never going to be the outlet that just kisses bottom. We don't do that. We actually do have an opinion, and I loved Marcus's comment in that first half, which was Marcus is very positive, but he did come out and say, look, to be honest, I don't see us winning the title. And is that negativity? I don't think it's negativity. I think it's an honest opinion from a fan who tries to find the positive in everything. And I love doing the match we don't commentate, but you know what I mean. I love doing the watch-alongs with Marcus because we bounce off each other because we don't agree. But I'm the one saying we're going to win the title based on stats, which I hate. Marcus is saying we won't, based on reality. And of course he wants us to win the league. We all do. And I think that's where... I'm not going to mention Matic again. I must just say as well, Sunday Night Live, every Sunday night is 8:30. We will do a Sunday night show today, but it will be straight after this. It will be sort of like a combination of a match reaction, which will probably be very little content, more about Matic. So we will have a show tonight, the Sunday show, but it'll be straight after this. But yeah, drop a like, support the channel. If you're one of those people who've disliked and you've disliked it because you don't agree with an opinion, I really don't think you understand what this channel is about. It is your channel. It is about fan opinion. Tomorrow night at 8:30, there's the Skype show where you can Skype in. Obviously, Marcus, I think you were watching the other night when... I'd like to thank Marcus, actually, because he actually got the guy to phone in who gave me a load of abuse, which I thought was a really good call until he lost his head. Is he a good mate of yours, or was it just...
No, he's not a good mate. It was just a message on Twitter, just saying that he'd asked to come on. He's been trying to get on for a few shows and never got on. So that was it basically. And there was another guy that asked to come on, which I messaged you about as well. But I mean, this is yeah. I mean, it was a good conversation. It was a good debate. It was good topics. So I thought fair play. No, fair play to the caller. A shame what happened, but it was, the debate was good. I liked it. And that is what the channel's about, debate, is it not?
It is.
Right. So,
it's not, it is about debate. It's not about abuse, though. But yeah, I think I genuinely look. We do this in our spare time. We are trying to get somebody involved, but we do this in our spare time, and we don't do it to be liked. That's not why we do it. We do it because we want to talk about the club that we love, and we want to generate debate because nobody agrees about everything. There are plenty of outlets out there who do it professionally who want you to just like everything that they do. That's not dismissive of them. That's basically professional media. What we want to do is really focus on fan opinion, and I think we do that really, really well. So I just want to thank everybody who does do that. I do read a lot of your comments. Marcus works on the live comments with Ed and United Standing the Chance and Beck and a couple of others. They do a great job of moderating the live comments, and they do that not because your opinions are wrong. It's just because sometimes people will just get a bit carried away, and we're not going to react to abuse. But the funny thing is, a lot of people have not liked what I've said today, but it's been a real needle in a haystack to find a comment that is actually well constructed, that doesn't make any sense. Like Liam Wollstonecroft there, he's going to have to create a new YouTube account now to come and comment again because he's commented on something that won't get read out but will just get himself blocked. But yeah. Thanks, D. Shorey, for a contribution. Make sure you leave a comment if you're going to contribute there, because we want to thank you and we also want to read your comment out. This is a great point from Cup of Milk that I'm going to bring up tonight on the Sunday night show after this. Andres Pereira only has 1 year left on his contract. That is terrifying. That is terrifying. What is going on with all the dislikes? Says 650. I think I asked everyone to dislike at some point. I was on a right rant at the start. I've calmed down. Marcus is good for me. He brings me down to a level. If he leaves me on my own, to be honest though, I had a really bad journey back on the M42. I've been up in Nottingham. My sister's just had a kid. I've got a kid who's 6 weeks. My brother's just about to have a kid, and we went down the pub. The blokes. I was only meant to have 1 Peroni. I had 4, so I was a bit preloaded before the show, which can lead to controversy. But I stand by what I say. I am very passionate about what I say, but we'll pick all that up on the 8 o'clock show. Marcus has got me feeling calm now.
Good.
Richard Bowyer, this will make you all laugh. Richard Bowyer is actually calling in on Skype now, Marcus. I'd rate his chances between being picked up between 0 and do 1. It's never going to happen. You've had your 5 minutes of fame, mate. That's it. I'm trying to find a decent question for you, Marcus, unless you've got something to say.
Oh, well, yeah, I was just going to say, now you're back, can I just nip into my kitchen and get another glass of red wine?
Yes, you can. Cultured, you see.
Yeah.
He's on the red wine, I'm on the Bud Light.
Cheers.
But there you go. We'll see him in a minute. No, but it's good to have Marcus back. I really do. We really do bounce off each other really well. Lukaku's on in the second half. Dimitri Mitchell's on in the second half. I'll be more interested. I do try to get you involved. Pereira's on as well. Martial is on. Martial, I think we'll see a much more exciting half. I really do. I really do think we'll see a much more exciting half. But it's more about, if anyone can tell us who Ander Herrera's on, Valerenga, what they're doing. You know, that in itself should be a massive indicator to Mourinho that the first half, alright, on paper they're decent players, Carrick and Fellaini and Jones and that, but we're not excited at all. Second half, Pereira's on, Martial's on, Herrera's on, Lukaku's on, and we're suddenly all going, woohoo, this is interesting. So, I'm trying to sort the team out. So Fosu Mendes, I think, has come on in the second half as a right back. Pogba's still on. Herrera's on. I think we've got Lindelof and Smalling as centre backs. I think Twansibi might be right back, and Lukaku's up front. I think Mitchell's playing as a left winger from the looks of it.
Twansibi looks like he's on the left-hand side.
Yeah, Twansibi looks like he's playing left back. Yeah, he is. I don't think Pereira's on. I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, Pereira's on.
He must be playing on the right with Dimitri. Well, no, that can't be right. I haven't got. Oh, he must be playing in a midfield three. United Forever says the United of old constantly made runs and played balls in behinds. Now played in front of the opposition, and it's too slow and just doesn't work. Fair comment. Here's Martial into the box. Good play. Oh, nearly. Already, though, it's better.
Yeah, the attacking seems much more quicker now.
I think we're playing three at the back. That's what a lot of people in the live comments are saying.
Lukaku.
See, I'm behind you. This
From
is annoying.
Pereira corner.
Yeah, they're slow on there. They're slow on there. Pereira corner, a Lukaku goal. Decent cross. Somebody who can attack in the air. Makes a difference.
Let's have a look. What a corner from Pereira, right on the head of Lukaku.
Oh, he can cross a ball.
Wow, yeah. So, looks like that lad solves the problem of not scoring from corners.
I love Pereira. I think Pereira is going to be an absolute gem at United. It's just how many minutes he's going to get in the team. But the one thing that will do, Marcus and everybody at home, is that Mourinho likes stats. He likes percentages. And as you just said quite rightly there's a player who can put a decent set piece into the box. That won't be lost on Mourinho.
Hopefully not. I mean, I would like to see these young lads get some important game time in the Premier League, even in the Champions League, because not only is it good for their experience and development, but it will also give them confidence to carry on.
I'll tell you
how they're going.
I don't know how many changes Valerenga have made. If some, look, this is your channel as much as it's ours, and we do ask stuff of you when we're live. It's difficult. If anyone can find out how many changes Valerenga have made, because I think that is quite important. But I'm already in love with this second half because one, we've got players on that excite us, but two, we're definitely playing the 3-5-2. I love the 3-5-2 because you've got three in the middle, you've got two up front, you've got your width with your fullbacks, and you've got a strong back three. It's a no-brainer for me. Marcus,
so Romero's just. No, I'm just saying, Morero's just took a hefty tackle.
I'm absolutely gutted we're playing Sampdoria on Wednesday in Dublin. I was meant to be going. I mean, Dublin's my town. That's where I'm from. I'm not really from there. I lived there for 3 years, but it was the 3 years that made me between the age of 20 and 23. I loved it. I had this mark to go, and I can't do it. I was so looking forward to it. I've been reading people online saying go to this pub, go to that pub. If only I could be there. If only I could be there. It would be the best pub crawl before the match you'll ever see. But we probably wouldn't make. To be honest, we wouldn't make the match. Just have a good night and forget about it. Forget about it. But no, I'm looking forward to. We'll be doing the watch along anyway. I'll have to get some Guinness in.
Right, update the score, mate.
Yes, I'm getting lost in the moment.
You not got the timer on today?
I have had. I will put it back on. Yeah. But this is what I mean. I mean, people say, oh, it's only pre-season, but this is the difference, isn't it? Like the first half, we're bored to death with an old static formation. The second half, it's exciting players, exciting formation. It doesn't change anything. It's still a poor opposition. It's still only a pre-season game, but it doesn't mean that you can't excite and you know, be progressive. And I think that's the thing. Let's not get lost in the fact it's still a pre-season game, and it still doesn't mean a hell of a lot. But the formation is much, much better. I'm just having a look through the... let me put the timer on for people as well. They'll start moaning. So we're basically going to be 6 minutes into the second half.
Pereira looks like he's got a lot of energy in this midfield role that he's playing.
He's exactly what I sort of want in the midfield. He's like Herrera. He you know, I use the word a lot, but he is tenacious. He does chase the ball down, and he's not. This is where people get mixed up by what I'm saying when I say speed in the midfield. It's not literal speed. It's not like, oh, he's like Usain Bolt speed. Football's speed isn't necessarily about pace. It's about how you move around the pitch, how you move when you've got the ball, and Pereira is like that. I don't think Pereira's lightning fast. Ooh, good little play there. Martial got up. Yeah. Martial's looking like everyone's looking lively. I think I still can't see in the live comments how many changes Valerenga have made, because they've only made one change. So there you go. We're playing the same team that we played in the first half, and the second half team is much better. So that's encouraging.
I mean, the second team's got more legs in it. It's more pacey. It's more attack-minded.
I think Smalling's a good player, you know. I know you don't like him, but Martial's done well there. Won it back into Lukaku. Nice little layoff. Switch it to Fosu.
Oh, look at Pereira, look. Oh, wow.
Oh, he's such a good player, isn't he?
Yes.
He is. It's just, I love Pereira. I'm going to be proved right about him as well.
I think it would be a crying shame if him, Fosu and Twansibi are not involved like throughout the season much. Maybe that could be in the back of Jose's mind as well. Maybe we don't need a winger, Perisic, because he's thinking of maybe Pereira on that side.
I'll play Pereira through the middle there. He's so good. The good thing is that the good thing for me is that when we were linked to Rodriguez in April and everyone thought we were going to sign him and it was all coming from Balaguer and Colombian radio, I said I like Rodriguez, but I'd prefer to play Pereira. And even United fans, even though Rodriguez wasn't a United player and Pereira was, were like, "You're talking nonsense. Rodriguez is way better than Pereira." And I said, "No, I don't think so. There's 4 years between them. I think in 4 years' time, Pereira will be better." I'd stand by it. I think he's a fantastic player. He's just got to be. I mean, that pass he just played to Fosu Mensah there. It's bouncing at him.
Yeah,
brilliant.
The timer's stuck on 6 minutes 3, Mark.
Oh, it is. You're right. What's gone wrong there then? Have I closed it? I closed it down. That's why. these are all the sort of little glitches we need to get out before the season really kicks in. 2 weeks today, we'll know whether we've got 3 points in our first game.
Is it 3:00 kickoff?
I think it's 4.
4.
Yeah.
That'll be on Sky Sports then, yeah.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. The summer's flown by, but I would agree with a lot of people. I don't know what you think. I think we've been doing the United Stand now for 3 summers. The first one was just our first one, and it was enjoyable. Last summer was fantastic. The Euros were on. We got Zlatan, Mickey, and Pierre Pogba, Bay as well. It was a really enjoyable summer. This one, I think, has been really hard work, and I think it's been at times unpleasant, at times exciting, but in general, when you look at the signings we've made, they've not been as exciting as last year. Oh, skills.
Yeah.
Pogba. Pereira. It has been. I think it's one of those summers as a United fans you've sort of got to stick together and hang in there, because it has been quite tough at times. I mean, even last night, so many United fans on social media getting excited that Fellaini was going to leave, and even I, who doesn't like Fellaini, said he'll stay. Don't get too excited. But people start to believe it. It's like the Ronaldo week, wasn't it? We had in middle of June. Oh, Ronaldo's coming.
Oh, yeah.
And he isn't. And it has been hard. I think the hardest one for me was Griezmann. There's been the 2 events for me this summer that have really frustrated me the most was Griezmann not coming when he definitely was. And then the master, the Don of transfer news, that Friday night when Dimarzio said we'd put an offer in for Fabinho. Now, whether we ever did put an offer in or not, we're certainly not going to sign him. So that was frustrating when you get your hopes up.
See, I've just seen a really, let's say, tenacious tackle from Pereira then.
Yeah. Oh, he don't mess about.
Yeah. Reminds me that tackle of a Paul Scholes tackle.
I really do. He's got a yellow card. I do think he's got the lot. I think people get lost in Pereira thinking he's a bit of a fancy Dan, and he is. But he's also, I don't think he can play centre defensive midfielder. I really don't. I think Herrera can play there. It's not his best position, but I think Herrera can play there. But I don't think that's Pereira's position at the moment. And let's not forget, Pereira's only in his early 20s. Maybe in 4 or 5 years he can do that role. But as an attacking midfielder, I think he brings so much, and he loves to get his foot in as well. And like Marcus said, he's quick. He's quick without being. He's not pace quick. He's just football quick. He sees things. He gets into things quick.
Very good reader of the game so far, from what I've seen. And that's always a plus.
Well, there's a fantastic tweet that was talking about on the Saturday night Q&A last night. It wasn't mine, and I wish I should start writing down who does them, but fantastic tweet along the lines of, let's just pretend that Fosu Mensah and Twansibi and Pereira were all up and coming youth players that we all knew about, but they didn't play for United. They played for other clubs around Europe, and we signed all 3 this summer. We'd be absolutely ecstatic with that. 3 really good young players in European football. We've got them. They're here already, and I think they're all ready in their own way. Pereira's obviously is ahead. Martial's done well in this game, I think Martial has been fantastic.
Yeah, he's done really well. Last season, I would put him in the category of bit part player. Couldn't hold down a regular place. But again, you can only get confidence from playing consistently, I think. So it's no wonder that the boy's in and out of the team and all that, because he don't know where his head's at. Fosu Mensah, I think a really bad sign for Fosu Mensah is the fact that he can play 2 or 3 different positions.
Yeah.
So he can't really cement his own place in the team.
The fact that he never plays him as a centre defensive midfielder worries me, because I think I think fans should back their opinion and not just go, well, Jose knows best, because I think that's always wrong. We did that with Van Gaal. Remember when Van Gaal wouldn't pick Mata and Herrera, and we used to get really mad, and then some people would go, Van Gaal knows more than you, he's won European Cups, he knows what he's doing, trust Van Gaal. And he was wrong. The fans were right. The fans were like, play Herrera, play Mata, and Van Gaal was wrong. So, you know, these are fantastic managers, and in the main, they do know more than us. They get paid a lot more money than us, but it doesn't mean they're right on everything. And I think many fans feel that Fosu Mensah is a potentially fantastic centre defence midfielder, but he never plays him there. And that is a shame. And I think you've hit the nail on the head there. He's playing him as a right back. I don't think Fosu Mensah can be a fantastic right back. I think he can be a good right back, but I think he's a centre defensive midfielder. So I'd agree with Marcus. I think this being able to play in a few positions is that good for his development. You know, he could go on loan next season and play for Bournemouth as a centre defensive midfielder for 38 games and develop, or he could stay at United and get maybe 2 or 3 games as a right back in the League Cup.
See, I think positive in that way, because if he is going to be used primarily as a right back, that would give Valencia competition. So if we sign Matic and we have Fellaini, Herrera, Pereira, Pogba, I can't see him getting in, cementing a place in front of them. But as a right back, I would think he would play pretty regularly, because there's only really Valencia that's our standout right back, because Darmian and Blind are going to be used primarily as left backs until Shaw comes back and Rojo. So
here's McTominay. Dun, dun, dun. Now, I think he's rubbish. I really do think McTominay's rubbish, but he's got half an hour to prove me wrong. From the youth setup, there's better midfielders in the youth setup than McTominay. He's coming on for Pogba now. I think Mourinho likes him because he's 6'4". That's it. But he might prove us wrong. Stephen's made a contribution. Thanks, Stephen. He says, remember, Fergie also made plenty of decisions, signings we didn't agree with, but the key was we still won. We have to hope the same happens with Jose. Yeah, spot on. I've always said that. I now agree with you, Stephen. You know, Sir Alex made big decisions. I remember us playing a game against Leeds away from home that we needed to win. And he fell out with Beckham and he dropped him and he played Luke Chadwick. And I can't remember if we won. I think we might have won or we drew. But, Sir Alex would make odd decisions. He never, people will fall into the trap that every week he played Cole and York up front and Scholes, Keane and Giggs and Beckham as his midfield. He didn't, he didn't. There would be games where he'd rest one, he'd play Phil Neville or he'd play Nicky Butt. So, football's always, Sir Alex Ferguson isn't just the best football manager there's ever been. I think he's probably the best sports manager there's ever been. But he did used to make odd decisions. But that just backs up what I say, as fans you should always believe in what you believe. You'll be wrong, I'm wrong, Marcus is wrong, but so will these people that we hold up as these great managers or...
It's all part of life, isn't it? Everyone makes mistakes.
Nobody's right 100% at the time.
Yeah.
Pereira's
You're only
human,
but
Pereira's got it now.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but it doesn't matter whether people think it's right or wrong. It's the beauty of being a fan. You can change your mind and do things differently to other people. That's what fan opinion's all about.
See, I think if we sign Matic, the mistake we shouldn't make is let's just play Matic as a centre defensive midfielder, and this mythical free Pogba thing. That's nonsense. That's not what we should do at all. What we should do is play Matic with Herrera as a midfield too. So I don't think Matic at 29 in the modern game, where you've got Kantes and Wanyamas, you can't leave Matic on his own. He is on the decline at 29. He isn't particularly fast. I think that'd be a massive mistake. And let's not forget, last season Matic didn't play on his own as a CDM. He played with. They should have scored then. He played with Kante alongside him. If we get Matic, I think we've got to play him with Herrera, and then play Pogba sort of in that more attacking role, or maybe even play Mkhitaryan.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy with, like you say, the Matic, Herrera, Pogba, because like you say, Matic. He's specialised in a CDM role. He knows how to play that role. Fellaini obviously doesn't. Herrera doesn't. They can do it, but they don't know how to do it properly. So I mean, Matic, he can pass. He's strong. He's tall. He can battle. He won't back out of a tackle. And I think those are positives to me. For what we've got in our team, you've got to take them as a positive, no matter what the name of the player is or where they come from. It's got to be better than what we've got.
Well, the bottom line is Matic is better than nobody, and he's certainly better than Fellaini, so it's an improvement. But I think it's fair to say that for many Manchester United fans, and I'd certainly be in this camp, we should have done better. We should have done better, and we'll never know the reasons why we didn't. But he is still better than nobody, and he's certainly better than some of the players that we currently have.
Oh, definitely.
And his passing range, Fellaini can't pass the ball any further than 5 yards. Matic can. He's not on the range of Carrick. I don't know whether he's much better than a prime Carrick, but we haven't got a prime Carrick anymore, so it's irrelevant in a way.
Well, I mean, until he comes, like I said earlier, until the lad comes, plays a few games, we don't know what's going to happen. And if that's Mourinho's first, second, third, or fourth choice, we've got to believe that Mourinho knows what he's doing, knows what the team needs, and knows that these players he can trust. I mean, I think that's one of the most important things. He's got to trust the player, and being so close to the Premier League season now, it would be a massive risk to me if we bought an overseas player and they needed time to bed in. So I think going for Matic makes sense. He knows the league, he knows the position, he knows what he's in for. So go for it.
And like
the price tag.
Go on.
The price tag, 50 million. I mean, that's too much.
Is it 50 or 40? Well, whether it's 50 or 40, it's too much anyway. He's 29 at the end of the day, and it is too much, and I think we all agree with that. But, if you haven't seen it, what I would say is, in my defence, is that when I did my Matic reaction video about 2 hours ago, or however, it was before this stream, I was stuck in traffic on the M42, and I had 4 fresh Peronis in my stomach. So it was more loose than I would normally be. I do have a level of professionalism when I'm doing this, and I do respect people's opinions more normally, but loose lips when you've got a few in you. But what I would say is that he is a divider. It's not his fault. I don't like Fellaini, but he doesn't pick himself. This is down to Mourinho, as Marcus quite rightly said. And I don't want to be the man, and nobody wants to be the people who said, Matic was a bad signing. I'm sure we all will do if it flops, and we'll all know who we are. But Mourinho's paid a lot of money to be Manchester United manager, and ultimately, if he gets this wrong, there's a massive sword hanging over his head, and it will fall on him, and we'll all know where it falls. So, if Mourinho's not anything, he's a man about reputation. He values his reputation. He's not going to willingly just make bad decisions. If he turns out not to be the man for Manchester United, I think we've got big problems. When we got Mourinho, I felt he was the right man, and I felt he was the right man because I felt he was the best person to win us the title for the same reasons I said he'll win the title next year, because he wins it in the first 2 years, and that was one of the big reasons I wanted him, because he guaranteed us the title. If he doesn't win us the title and he fails like Van Hal and Moyes does, I think Manchester United as a football club are in big problems, because where do you go after the man that you've got to guarantee you the title? We don't need to have that discussion now, Marcus, or people at home. We don't need to have that discussion now. But that's why I hope Jose's right about Matic and I'm wrong, and everybody else is wrong, because we need Mourinho to be right. We cannot afford Mourinho to be wrong, because if we get Mourinho wrong and Mourinho gets it wrong, he's the man who's meant to win us the title and get us back on, that competitive field, so that we don't turn into Arsenal, who've not won it for 10 years, or God forbid Liverpool, who've not won it for over 20. That's why we got Mourinho in. If he gets it wrong, I don't think there's a manager in world football that you can get and go, well, he'll win us the title, because that's what Mourinho does. So he has to be right, and I hope he is right.
He's right, but he's also human and needs time. You forget this. I mean, a lot of people forget this team that he came into was absolutely atrocious. I mean, there's no hiding it. It was bad team. Team spirit wasn't there. Two managers who didn't really have a clue in the way United are. The team had no identity. Players wanted to go. They didn't like the style of football, and he's had to come in and rebuild from scratch. And 2 summer transfer windows is not going to be enough, in my opinion. I don't think it'll be enough. But I trust the guy to get it right, hopefully sooner rather than later. I would be quite happy this season if we are in the top 4, but with this team I can see us competing for the 4th spot. And we just need more quality players, and we seriously need 3-0 McTominay.
Here we go, goal number 3, Martial, McTominay.
It's your worst day today.
I'm having a nightmare tonight. I'm having an absolute nightmare. It's still rubbish.
But again, I mean, he's a young lad. He's got to learn his trade, and you've got to give him a chance.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
I think one of the worst things you could do, mate, is really slate a guy, a young kid.
No! I'm going to jump in and defend myself there. I'm not. I don't slate players because I want to slate players. If any United fan thinks that McTominay is a United player, go and support Huddersfield, because he is not a Premier League player. He is bang average Championship player. Just because he scored a goal against Valerenga, who are a League One team. I've seen this lad play a few times. He's about 6'5". He's a midfielder. He's like watching somebody in slow motion. He's Fellaini Mark II. But you know what? I hope he forms a career. The reality, and I say that with total honesty, and people will hate it and they'll say you're hating on a young player. And I'm going to quantify this. Josh Harrop, 10 times the player he is. We sold him to Preston North End. Why? Why did we let him go? He was absolutely dynamite against Crystal Palace on the last game of the season. I said after the game that's the last time he'll play for United, and I got a lot of stick, and everyone was like, you're wrong, he's a really good player. I agree he's a good player, but Robbie Brady was a fantastic player at United, and we let him go. If people think McTominay is a United player, then we're in big trouble, because we've let a lot of players go way, way better than him. He is nowhere near United quality. The only reason I think he plays is because he's tall. He's not even one of the best midfielders in the youth setup. He is just tall. So, I'm not even going to come out with the words, I hope he makes it at United, because if he makes it at United, we're in trouble. He is not good enough. But I really do hope that he has a good career in football in general, because a lot of United players do. That was a handball there. Not given, but no. I mean, he scored a goal. People fall into this trap as well. I don't know whether you fall into it, Marcus, as well. But people definitely fall into this trap with Fellaini a lot. He scores a goal, and people forget about the actual performance. He scores. There's one phase of play where he puts the ball in the back of the net, and they ignore the last 89 minutes where they've been absolutely average. Just because you put the ball in the back of the net, this is not like playing World Cup when you're eight years old with your mates. This is real life football, and just putting the ball in the back of the net is really basic. You get all the glory for it, but it's very basic. Pereira could run past 5 or 6 players. Ooh, Lukaku just wide. Pereira could run past 5 or 6 players and lay it on a plate for Lukaku to tap it in. Lukaku gets all the glory, but the real thinking man's person or woman knows that Pereira's made that goal. So goals alone don't make you important. Especially not as a midfielder. You've got to do the rest of the job as well. McTominay will not be a Manchester United player. I'll argue that with anybody. But well done to him for scoring.
How old is this lad?
I think he's older than people think as well. I mean, to be fair, that was one of the reasons I said Josh Harrop was going to go, because he wasn't young. I think he was 21 or 22. In relation to McTominay, I'm not too sure. I mean, if he's 18, maybe he's got a bit of development in his play, to be fair. I think that's a good point to make.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point. Let me see. But, yeah, it was one of the reasons I knew McTominay... Harrop wasn't going to make it, to be honest, because he's not. It's a bit like Lingard. He's not this young kid everybody thinks. So he's 20. He's 21 in December.
20. Right, so Lingard is what, 24?
I think 24, nearly 25.
Yeah.
So, but McTominay's 6'4", so you know straight away why Jose likes him. He loves that physicality. He loves that height. Jesse Lingard is 24. Again, in December he's 25.
So if Jose loves all these height players, as you just said, right, would you, just hypothetically, would you still be against the height if it won us the Premier League and Champions League next season?
Oh, it's such a good question. You know what? I'm greedy. I want. It's not just about winning. I want to win in the right way. I would rather. This sounds really stupid, and I don't expect many people to understand it. But I would rather do what Spurs did last year and be amazingly good footballing side, scoring loads of goals second, than Portuguese Pullis Stoke grinding out 1-0 wins, winning the title. I would. And I know people would say I'd take the title because no one remembers how well you played in 20 years' time, and I totally agree with that. But, I've been spoilt as a Manchester United fan. I've seen us win the title loads of times. I don't need to win the title that much that I need us to win in a bad way, in a grinding out way. Manchester United should win the title in the right way. So I would rather come second and play fantastic football than win the title playing like Tony Pulis.
So would you have that same attitude in the Champions League?
I think the Champions League... You see, the Champions League's different because in my lifetime and in any United fan's lifetime, we haven't won the Champions League as many times as we should. So I probably would grind out a couple of Champions Leagues just to get us up to Liverpool. 5. The league is different. We've won the league so many times and we should win the league in a certain way. We should be ambassadors of England. In the Champions League, I actually think it's banter when teams like Inter win the Europa League. When teams like Inter under Mourinho win the Champions League against people like Barcelona, I think that's ultimate banter because it's like they are the ultimate footballing side and they get done by a defensive side. I wouldn't mind us grinding out a Champions League, and that's not hypocritical. It's just because we haven't won it enough. But I think when it comes to the league, McTominay should have scored again then. We should be doing it in the right way.
That's fair dues, isn't it?
Always all about opinion. A few people saying that's ridiculous, but a few people are saying very true. No, this is the whole point. We're never all going to agree. The only thing we really should agree on is that we love Manchester United. I think where people go wrong is that they get aggressive about their opinion and think their opinion is right, and that makes them a real United fan. It's like I nearly called him a plonker. The person who said before, do you think your opinion is better than us, Mark? And I think people get lost in that. Oh, just because we've got 4,000 people watching us on a watch-along. We started off with 30 people watching us. It grew. And it grew because of the way the show is, because of the live comments and the interaction. I don't think I'm better than you lot. The minute I thought that, and I never would because it's not what I'm like, but the minute anyone pulled me up on that, I would walk away from it because that's not what we started off for at all. Our whole thing is to encourage you lot to come on the Skype shows, and like the people we've taken from Skype shows, like Rodney, who now does the Tuesday night show with me, and I can't remember how you got involved, Marcus, to be honest, but you certainly weren't involved at the start, and now you do the watch-alongs and things like that. That's what the United Stand is. It's getting fans on to give their opinion, and they won't always be my opinion. I mean, it's like the bloke the other night who called me the spaghetti-eating Italian immigrant. Up until his last sentence, he actually was a fan giving an opinion. He was getting a bit aggressive, to be honest. He needs some anger management classes, but he had an opinion and it was going okay, and then he lost it. He ruined it. But I don't mind if people have a different opinion to me. In fact, the more passionate, the better. As long as you control it, the more passionate, the better. The more you believe it, the better. Because no one can tell you your opinion's wrong if you believe in it. Matthew McFadden's made a contribution. Thank you, Matthew. It's quite a big one actually. £10. Thanks for that, pal. That reminds me, we've got a United shirt to give away. Obviously, the lad won it. Luke Crocker won it the other night. So he says, totally agree with you, Mark. If you play great football and come second, then there's a good foundation to build on. But if you play the same boring style every week, then teams will eventually catch you out. Great football doesn't win you titles, by the way. Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool played much better football than us last year, but they got figured out because they haven't got a plan B. They just want to play good football all the time. Arsenal have done it for years. Good football actually can make you very naive, I think. You've got to be able to mix it up.
It can do. I mean, good football can, makes you cocky, arrogant. And I think then those are probably the traits you want to be a successful side, because it's in your head that you are the best. You can play against the best. But sorry, I was just reading the comment there. So I mean, it comes with its pros and cons. But going back to what I just said to you, I would rather win titles, play ugly, because as I think you said, or someone else has said on the shows, no one remembers second place, mate. It's all about winning. Second place is your first place loser, and second place means you wasn't good enough. So I would rather win ugly if we have to, no matter what, because at the end of the day, it's about trophies and it's about 3 points.
Yeah, different opinions to mine. I'm not going to knock it because it's your opinion. That's fine.
I want my club to be the best. I want my club to be successful. I want Jose in the job for as long as he can, because I think he's the right man. I'll back him no matter what. And if that means we need over 6'2" players, 6'5" players, so be it. If that's what wins us the title, if that's what makes us competitive again, then yeah, I'm with him.
There you go.
I mean, there's a good comment there from Sohail. Last year we played terrible. We won 3 titles. And in Jose's words,
we're not back to counting the Community Shield again, are we?
Well, see, I mean, this is where me and you disagree again. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Community Shield, it's a piece of silverware. It goes in the trophy cabinet.
Didn't Moyes win that though?
To be honest, mate, I couldn't care who won it. As far as I'm concerned, it's a bit of silverware, and it's a title. The League Cup is a cup. It's a title. It makes no odds whether it's a cup or a shield or a plate or whatever. If teams are in it to win it, then it's a trophy. Europa League, we know it's not the Champions League, but it's a trophy that we were missing, and Mourinho is the first Manchester United manager to win 3 or 2, depending how what you think of the Community Shield trophies in his first season. The first Manchester United manager to win the Europa League. It got us back in the Champions League, and that's all that matters. And it also completed our set of winning every trophy.
Yeah.
So for that,
I to be honest, I must agree with you in relation to last season. We could have played fantastic football like Spurs, like I said, and finished second and win nothing like Spurs did. Or we can play pretty poor like we did from Christmas, but win a trophy we've never won before in the Europa League. And I would pick that. So it's always very changeable and dynamic, isn't it, in what you want?
Oh yeah, definitely. But I just think if it's a competition, you got 2 teams battling, whether it's in group stages, whether it's straight shootout, whether it's a straight game, like the Community Shield. It's the winners of the FA Cup against the Premier League winners. So, it's the curtain raiser to the season. It's the first piece of silverware to be competed for, and you win that silverware. I think, in my opinion, it gives that team confidence going into the season. So whatever helps my team, whatever helps my club get confidence and get the cockiness back, fine, so be it. If that's a trophy, that's a trophy. The Super Cup is another example of it. I mean, you're not in it unless you're a Champions League winner or a Europa League winner. So, we're in it. Real Madrid are in it. Well, probably the two biggest teams. Well, I suppose you can count Barcelona as well. But two major teams are fighting for this trophy. Two major teams who have got a point to prove to each other. And I think so long as we are in a competition, we should go all out to win it. Else there's no point being on it. There's no point being in it. The League Cup, people say it's a Mickey Mouse Cup, but Mourinho loves to win that trophy. It's the first trophy in the season to be won. So go for it. If we are the biggest club in the world, we should be competing on all fronts. But this team lacks depth to compete on all fronts, and we need numbers. And if those numbers are Matic, Fellaini, so be it. I'm behind my team.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to move away from being behind their team, but I think we can all, well, I certainly sit in that camp of we should have done a lot better in this transfer window. And to be honest with you, if Jose Mourinho's picks this summer were Lindelof, Lukaku and Matic, I'd be very concerned about our manager. He must have had better picks than that. He said he gave him the list in April. If that was his list, then he should go off and manage Everton because they're Everton sort of signings. I genuinely don't believe that they were his first choice signings. I think maybe Lindelof was. We know Lukaku wasn't, and I know Morata's getting a lot of stick at the moment, but I do think Morata will be a good signing, and I think he's a typical sort of don't judge a player in pre-season. We were also going to get Griezmann. We've got to be totally fair to Woodward, the Glazers, Mourinho. We were getting Griezmann. That was going to happen. You can moan about how much money we've spent, but that deal was going to happen. We'd been working on it for a long time, and he bottled it. So that was very, very disappointing. But you could also argue that if we got Griezmann, would we have seen as much as Pereira? There are positives and negatives. But I don't for 1 minute believe that Matic was ever his first choice. If he was, well, as I said, that's his sword to fall on. But we've got to, when the game kicks off 2 weeks on Sunday, we're all United fans. We've got to back it and hope that it'll happen. And maybe we will have to grind out some results. Maybe we will. Maybe Chelsea and City have had a better transfer window than us, and they finished ahead of us. But 20 points ahead of us as title winners and a better transfer window. This is a different season. It doesn't necessarily mean it that we're going to win. That's new circumstances. They've got to play in Europe.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking just about Chelsea there. I mean, Manchester City as well spent a lot of money, and they've got some cracking players that they brought in. I'm disappointed in the way the transfer season, the transfer in the summers have been handled. If
we're going to get another reason, I'm sort of need to keep some of this back for the show after, but if Matic was our first choice, it's a big heads up that he wasn't. That if Matic was our first choice, why are we signing him at the end of July? Because if he was our first choice, we could have just got him in June.
Yeah, you could say the same thing for Lukaku.
Yeah, I'll argue that with anybody. I'm happy with Lukaku, but there's no way he was our first choice.
No, he wasn't. Else we wouldn't have wasted all that time with Morata. Obviously,
I actually think Perisic is our first choice.
Yeah,
we've just spent too long on it because we didn't want to spend 50 million, and now we will anyway. And that's whoever's if we do sign Perisic for 48 million. Then Woodward and his negotiators need to sit down and take the L on that, because we could have done that deal in June and we didn't. We were like, we're not going to pay that, we're going to play hardball, and then we pay it anyway. And that has been stupid, because he could have been on the US tour, he could have been well integrated in the team. I've got to read this comment actually. Spenny D's made quite a generous contribution. Thank you, Spenny. He says, doing a great job, Mark. Let's get behind Matic. We want to enjoy these signings. Haha. Yeah, I will shut up. You will see when Matic signs, I will shut up. I've said everything I need to say about it. I don't think it's a good signing, but I also don't believe that it's healthy to, as Marcus said, and I'd already said this anyway, it's not healthy to be negative about a player who's never kicked a ball for us. I don't believe he's the right player. I don't think I have concerns about him, but as soon as he's holding up a United shirt officially, that's where it ends for me. You'll all know what I think, and I'll happily hold my hands up at the end of the season if we're title winners and say I got it wrong. But I'm not going to start going on about it until he's kicked a ball for us. If he plays the first 3 games of the season and he plays how I think he will, then obviously I'm going to say stuff, because that's part of a match. That's part of reviewing a game. But from the moment he signs until the moment he plays, I'm not really going to say anything more than the fact that I didn't ever really want him. Silence from Marcus.
Oh, sorry, I was just watching this bit of play here from whatever they're called, Valerenga, trying to bring it out. A lot of people agreeing in the comments. Some people disagreeing, but that's the beauty of this channel. That's the beauty of being a fan of the greatest club in the world and having an opinion. You don't have to agree with Mark. You don't have to agree with me. It's your right, and that's what the channel's all about. Debate, all good shot, all unlucky.
We're into the 90th minute anyway.
Game over for me, mate.
Game over. Well, give us your thoughts, Marcus, because we've been having a good old chat. So give us your thoughts.
I thought first half there wasn't really much to get excited about. I mean, Pogba hit the post, the Fellaini goal, obviously. Second half was much better, a much quicker side, much more penetration going forward. Very impressed with Pereira again. I was impressed the last time I saw him. McTominay, give him a chance, give him another season or two, and then maybe think about shipping him out. Lukaku scored again against a lesser team.
Yeah, that was
read
a good
into
goal,
that what you like. Yeah, but read into that what you like. I think the second half was a better improvement over the first half, but I'm still not satisfied that the team is where it needs to be to compete.
Well, hopefully you'll be joining me for Sampdoria.
What time's that?
Wednesday, I think it's 7:45. But I think
that's fine.
By that game, we do need to be doing a little bit better. I do agree with that.
Yeah, that's fine. Not a problem. Everyone
who's joined us on the Watchalong, obviously the first hour was debatable. I agree, but Marcus came on and provided some calmness to the storm, which was great. Make sure you click that subscribe button. I've not said it enough on the show today. Bottom right hand corner, hologram, click the subscribe to the United Stand. We're a live content channel. If you're not subscribed, you won't get the notification if you haven't hit the bell. Live every night at 8 o'clock or 8:30, and we have the transfer show every morning at 7 o'clock. I think this week's going to be a big week for United, by the way. I'm moving on to the match reaction stroke Sunday night show very, very quickly. We always do a show on a Sunday night at 8:30. I'm not going to wait till 8:30. I'm just going to sort of combine it with a match reaction and a Sunday night show. Mainly going to talk about Matic and the update about him and United's transfer window. So if you're interested in United and you want to just talk about more general stuff, we will talk about the game, but also more general stuff. Hop over. The link is not in the video description. I normally put it in there, but it's on the home page. So if you click the United Stand, you'll see it there. It's called, in fact, I can probably just save everybody a lot of time and whack it into the video description. Marcus, do you want to give yourself a shout out on Twitter? Because I know you're trying to get popular on there, you and Ross with your Call of Duty streams.
It's _Mad Marcus.
You change it every week.
Yeah, well, I tried to make it less complicated.
Yeah, you don't want to put underscores in there, to be honest, but that's up to you.
I know, but I can't just have Mad Marcus. It's taken, apparently.
Yeah. It's like United Stand is taken as well. It's a pain in the backside. But
So it's _Mad Marcus for anyone who wants to follow.
Okay. Give us your man of the match, Marcus, actually, because that's a lot of people asking about that.
Do you know what? I would think... Well, first off, it's my man Fellaini, isn't it? He scored the goal. Second half... I would say Lukaku, actually. He didn't do too bad. Lukaku or Martial.
Yeah,
second half.
I did like. I really did like Martial's performance. I mean, we're going to touch on it in a minute when we go over to there. But I did like Martial. I thought Pereira did very well. You know, it was you know, not amazing. He was good, and then there was bits of bad, but I did like that. But yes, thanks for coming on. Really enjoyed it. Good to get the old team back. Hopefully, we'll have that more regularly for you in the new season. And thanks for everybody who's been watching us. Really appreciate it. Lots watching. Hopefully, we've picked up a few new people as well. I have now put the link in the video description for you, and it does work. It's the first line of video description. So what we'll do is go over to that stream. It's going to be a combined match reaction, but more Sunday Night Live. We can't not do Sunday Night Live. So it's going to be more Sunday Night Live / with a bit of match reaction linked in there as well. So we're gonna be a bit of a hybrid. Oh, I'm trying to speak posh. It's not me. But thanks for coming on, Marcus.
No
really
worries,
enjoyed
mate.
it, and I'll speak to you again soon, pal.
And you, pleasure as always. Thank you, everyone. See you later.
And I will be over on that match reaction / Sunday night show in about 60 seconds. I can turn it around. So the link's in the video description, or you can go through the United Stand page. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you over there in 60 seconds. I believe I can do it, and I'm going to do it. So let me crack on. I'll see you there in 60 seconds time. 60 seconds flat.